Hello, everyone. Michael Jordan fans are the best. And today we're going to be talking about this subject that's come up over the last few years about how Kobe Bryant is not past LeBron James, or how LeBron James passed Kobe Bryant in the GOAT debate. But first, let's welcome the panelists here. We've got Hoop God. How are you doing today, sir?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm ready for an epilogue from last Sunday. It's imperative that we destroy these narratives.
You look like Black Noir from The Boys.
Hey, AOH, you inspire me, man, with the shades. I'm like, hey, I got to get right.
I have a hard enough time seeing here. It looks even darker there. Can you see anything?
We've got Steam Engine out in the woods. How are you today, sir?
I'm well. I am awake, finally. Ready to get into it.
We've got Robin, Sports and Fitness Rants. How are you today, sir?
You guys know the deal, baby. You know the deal. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Once again, man, I am glad to be back with another Sunday live stream, man. Shout out to everybody on the panel. You guys know the deal. Let's roll.
We've got AOH. How are you today, sir?
Good morning. Good morning. I always follow Robin. No matter how energetic I try to be, it sounds ridiculous.
We've got Jay, Scap Attack, Scapanak. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. This is probably my favorite topic of any topic in anything in the entire world, not just basketball. So I'm ready to get into this, dig into it with you guys.
Absolutely. And we've got Mel from Man Down Sports. How are you today, sir?
I'm good, man. What's up, Dark? Good morning, everybody. Scab Attack, this is my first time meeting you. I think the first time being on the panel with my man at the top right as well. What can I call you, big dog? Top right, glasses,
Steam
ball
engine, steam engine.
Steam
Hopefully,
I got you, big
a
dog.
basketball
All right,
head works too.
Nice to meet you, bro. Nice to meet you, man. And Scap as well. Nice to meet you. I'm subscribed to you for sure. I'm mad you're not subscribed to or familiar with Man Down Sports, so you're gonna have to go check my channel out.
You got my word. I will. Thank you very much.
You,
good to meet you as well here.
Yeah, for sure. And I seen you on Jason Whitlock's show too. I just want to let you know that.
Appreciate you.
And we've got NMB Sports. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing good. In Nico Harrison, we trust. He does it again. I'm feeling good about the Mavs next year. They're making some moves.
Oh, that's tough.
All right. So first, we'll start with Scap Attack, because I know this is one of his favorite subjects. And I know that you don't think that LeBron James is past Kobe Bryant, but why is LeBron James not past Kobe Bryant?
Well, yeah, many think that my channel was created. I really dug into starting this channel and really building it about a year ago, little over a year ago. And many think that I'm a LeBron hater, and that's where the primary amount of my content derives from. Not true. Actually, my strongest basketball take and my most passionate opinion has to do with Kobe, and kind of as it pertains in a way to LeBron as well. It's because like many of you, I'm about the same age. I grew up, I was a young fan of Jordan, but very young. Like I really became like an adult and an avid basketball fan watching Kobe Bryant. And I've seen every game Kobe Bryant has played, playoffs, regular season. While I haven't seen every regular season game of LeBron, I've seen every single postseason game he's played in as well. And that's the thing, that the really crux of the point behind the GOAT debate with Jordan and LeBron. The thing that annoys me is not that the premise that LeBron is up there with Jordan or maybe has surpassed Jordan. It's the fact that he hasn't ever gotten by Kobe. Kobe is the gatekeeper to the Jordan conversations, and LeBron never got there. Why is that? Why do I feel that way? Let's just break it down. Overall game. I'll give LeBron, begrudgingly, I'll give him court vision and, just in general, passing. I'll give him the check mark in that. So to speak, not necessarily making teammates better, because I don't think that's the case at all. But just in terms of his overall court vision and passing, we'll give the check to LeBron. Look, he's 2-3 inches taller, 40 pounds heavier, 20 to 40 pounds heavier than Kobe whenever you're looking at their play height and weight. So I'll give him the check mark in rebounding too. In terms of scoring, Kobe Bryant is arguably the greatest scorer in NBA history. I put him right up there with Will Chamberlain and Michael Jordan. To me, that's the gold standard, those three guys. And if you want to, expand beyond those three, I would look for maybe a guy like Kevin Durant, arguably above a LeBron James. I don't know. I think it's because of the counting stats and this obsession that the media has geared towards LeBron's longevity and tried to shine the light on, all of his counting metrics, that he somehow is lumped in this one of the best scorers ever. I don't view LeBron under that premise at all. So I give Kobe the check mark. Absolutely, definitively, offensively. Defensively, you can say maybe a toss-up, but I say Kobe Bryant has, he's tied with Michael Jordan, Kevin Garnett, and Gary Payton with 9 All-NBA first-team defensive selections. That's the most in NBA history. At the very least, they're equivalent defenders. I give Kobe the check in on-ball defense. So, look, Kobe's a better scorer by far to me. He's a better defender, and he won more championships in fewer time with less help against more challenging opponents. For those reasons, unequivocally, Kobe Bryant goes above LeBron James in my book.
Mel, what do you got to say about all this?
Yeah, so LeBron never passed Kobe. LeBron never passed a couple of guys, even after Kobe. So the way I look at it, if I'm grading a basketball player, I'm grading them on how much basketball they mastered, right? How good did you get as a player? How many holes or how many flaws do you have in your game? Kobe has less flaws, less holes in his game, and he mastered more basketball than LeBron did. So, if you look at it like martial arts, and I'm trying to get to a black belt degree, I'm trying to rise all the way up. There's certain things that I have to master. I have to be able to break the board. I have to be able to do this. I have to do that. Like, I'm mastering so many different things and techniques in order for me to achieve all the way up to black belt status, right? And LeBron is still trying to achieve things. He still can't shoot free throws. He still can't play efficient. He still can't play really good without the ball. He needs the ball. In order for him to start this offense, he needs a high screen and roll to be this man. Like, he can't use just his skill and technique, something that he worked on in the gym, to beat one defender without a screen. He needs a screen to initiate all his offense. He's always looking for a mismatch off that screen. Can I bring a big man up here and get him in a screen and roll action and get a switch and take advantage of him? But Kobe and Mike, that's quite simply, I got so much in my arsenal. If I got a bigger guy on me, I got something I can use on every area on the court. If I got a smaller guy on me, I got something I can use against him on every area of the court. But for LeBron, it's always high screen and roll for him to get an advantage, right? He needs shooters, because if the paint not wide open for him, his offense is almost dead, right? So he had to have the paint wide open. Point guards can't play point guard with him. So if I'm a great point guard like Rondo, I got to figure out how to play off the ball and catch and shoot for LeBron, because he can't play off the ball. If I play against with a good post player like Shaq or Kevin Love or Chris Bosh, they got to learn how to become 3-point shooters, or they can't play with me. Ben Wallace and Shaq look horrible playing with LeBron James. So the way his game is, his flaws, in order for you not to see them, you have to have perfect teammates around him that specialize in his flaws. I have to have shooters. I have to have this and that. It's just too much that you have to have. And that shows you how much he's lacking and how much he's leaving to be desired. And Kobe don't have all that. So it's simple for me. I don't go into all that resume stuff. Of course, that counts when you're actually making a greatest of all time list. But if I'm just grading a player, Kobe grades way higher than LeBron James. So LeBron never passed Kobe as a player. So I don't know why he's trying to go and use the backdoor approach by saying, let me beef my resume up. Therefore, you have to say I'm past Kobe. But he's not past Kobe at all.
All right, Nick, what do you got to say?
Yeah, a lot of good points. I was going to echo something that Scap said about, I started my channel just making edits. Like, I just kind of got bored over COVID and was just wanting to make some sports videos, right? And then kind of got drug into this whole the MJ and LeBron thing. Not that I'm complaining, but kind of same thing. I didn't really plan on being on camera as much as I have been. I really just wanted to make videos and kind of just leave it at that, right? So I agree with this whole, I'm just a Mavs fan, and I'm kind of now entrenched in this thing as well. I kind of wanted to go back to something Gilbert said that bugged me and kind of I think is one of the main reasons we're talking about this, right? He said there was MJ, and then all the way down, he said there was a huge gap between second and third, and he had LeBron over Kobe, right? And I kind of brought this up in my debate with Hoop God about Kobe, and it is the Kobe curse, right? And this is a compliment. You know, he is the closest thing we've seen to Jordan, and I think we haven't really fully appreciated yet because he came back to back after Jordan. And I think in our minds, we just think there's no way someone could be as good as Kobe has been compared to someone like Jordan, you know, literally coming in off the tail end of Jordan's career, right, for his second three-peat in Chicago, right? And so for me, for you to say LeBron is better than Kobe, right, but you think Jordan is so much better than everyone else, those two things didn't really line up to me, correct? If Kobe is the closest thing we've seen to Jordan, but you think there's this huge gap and you put LeBron somewhere over Kobe in there, I just don't think that logic adds up, right? If MJ is your status quo of the GOAT, for which I think all of us on here agree, you have to admit Kobe filled those shoes pretty well, stylistically, mentally, right? He really does check off a lot of the things that if you were going to recreate Jordan, Kobe did a pretty damn good job, right? And so for him to put LeBron over Kobe just didn't sit right with me in the way that he explained it, because Kobe is, you know, pretty close to Jordan in terms of just the whole career and what he's achieved. And again, the skill set and the mentality. He just has the curse of never quite being quite as good as Jordan. So he lives in his shadow a little bit, but in such a good way. And he came so close that it's a compliment, right? That's kind of what I want to say. So that's kind of what I wanted to start with, is the way that Gilbert said there was this huge gap, but yet LeBron's over Kobe. Well, to me, Kobe is about the best mold we've seen of Jordan, right? So that logically just didn't make sense. That's the main point I wanted to start with personally.
All right, real fast. We got a super chat came in from Gary, and I believe that Sports and Fitness Rants, you have your monetization back, correct? Oh no,
You're muted.
You're muted.
Oh yeah, well, you know, we'll see what happens. You know, YouTube controls these things. But once again, I'm not in it for the money, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, give it
I
to me.
believe this is. I think you said. I thought you said that you got it back today.
I'm supposed to today, yes.
Okay, I think it's to you. Do you want to respond to this? You got a minute to respond to it.
Yeah, what do you say? What do you ask me?
Salute. Keep that same energy. I love your dedication to sports and fitness. Thank you for that 90s Magic video. Who is the MJ of football? $5.
Oh, once again, shout out to Gary, man, for all the support, man, for my channel. The MJ of football. Ooh, that's a good question, man. I'll be honest, man. I'm a New York Giants fan from way back, man. I'm gonna go with Lawrence Taylor, baby.
All right, Lawrence Taylor. All right, Hoop God, what do you got to say about the whole Kobe LeBron discussion?
So yeah, just to echo what Scap has stated, what Nick stated, and also what Man Down has stated. I wanna bring a different dynamic to this discussion, because this is what I look at as well. Let's remove the accolades, you know, the quote unquote MVPs, because I feel like that's more so voters biasness and hey, we just like this guy over this guy. And let's just get to the production. Okay, so when Kobe Bryant and LeBron James faced off out of 22 games in their career, okay, LeBron's team won 16 times, Kobe Bryant's team won 6 times, right? But if you go into detail and you start to find out, well, who was when they matched up, okay. This is on ESPN.com, because I know a lot of the, I call them the LePan handlers. They'll say I'm capping, but it's an easy search, really. If you go on ESPN.com, it'll show you that when they guarded each other in those matchups, Kobe Bryant shot 52% from the field. Remember, but Kobe's inefficient if you let them tell it. And when Kobe Bryant held LeBron, he shot 27% from the field. I mean, the man couldn't even shoot in the 30s, for crying out loud. But let's go a little further. So doing a little bit more research, Kobe Bryant's highest scoring seasons versus LeBron's highest scoring seasons. When Kobe Bryant averaged 35 points per game, if I'm not mistaken, it was 05-06. That is higher than any of LeBron's point per game seasons, with less spacing, by the way, because this is the dead ball there. His second leading score was 31.6, which was closer to LeBron's second season at 31.4. I believe that's the year he won the scoring title, but Kobe won the MVP. But let's take it a little further. Kobe Bryant has more 40-point games than LeBron, more 50-point games than LeBron, more 60-point games than LeBron. And we all know Kobe has the famous 81-point game, which LeBron has never cleared 70. Let's go a little further. Even in those 40-point games, Kobe Bryant shot over 50% from the field 62 times to LeBron's 55. But remember, Kobe's inefficient. So when you start to research, you can easily dissect these narratives that the media has created to try to do what? Marginalize Kobe because he dominated LeBron at every asset of the game. But let's go a little further. When I'm looking at a one-possession defender, right, I'm thinking of two guys, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. You know why? Because they are going to take it personally that I am going to stop you from scoring so my team can get an advantage. I don't see that in LeBron. Even when we go to the finals, he couldn't guard Tony Parker, couldn't guard Jason Terry, couldn't guard Kawhi Leonard. This is before Kawhi Leonard even emerged to be as great as he is now. He couldn't even guard Kevin Durant. When they beat them in 2012, Kevin Durant still averaged over 30 and shot over 50% from the field. 2015, he couldn't guard Andre Iguodala. Again, with the Golden State Warriors, he ran from Kevin Durant when he hit that pull-up three in transition in game 3. You would never see Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant do anything remotely close to that, okay? Because what's the old saying? My man down here, man down sports, hand down, man down. But, hey, if you hit the shot, that's just better offense. But the fact that you don't even go out there and try to contest him, that shows me psychologically you're weak. Mentally, you're weak. I don't need a guy like that on my team. I mean, I'm just being honest. But let's move on to the Olympics. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hoop God, we're gonna move on. We got some super chats. So real fast, we got from the Fam God, we got $199 US. Love Scap Attack, goated content. Real fast, if you want to address that, Jay, I want to address for anybody that's new to the channel, please say that who you're super chatting to, because I can't see from my end who you're super chatting. So I seen another one that came in that didn't say who it was to. But Jay, do you want to address this at all, or?
Yeah, just thank you so much for the support. Like I said, I started my channel about a year ago, and the views and subscribers are what they are. But the actual support, engagement, and interaction that I get on the channel is just blows my mind. You know, how many comments and stuff I get on it. And I love to jump in the comments. So, I just really thank you so much, guys, if you're on here, and I appreciate all of your support.
We got another one from Liquid Swords. Poor Bronny got his dad's brick jeans. Steam Engine, do you want to address that real fast before I don't know who it went to, so we'll do that. And then you can go and do, well, actually, there's some more that came in real fast, but do you want to address this real fast?
Yeah. I don't quite feel bad for Bronny yet, but it's getting there. 2 for 9 off his first clip. He looked, I mean, what the hell am I going to say? My fat ass is in this basement in my tent with sneakers talking, but he looks like a basketball player, and he's set up for failure. It's hard to watch, but I'd like to see him like come out and like openly denounce, not denounce like wanting to be like his dad, but like letting people know he's his own person. And then maybe he has a shot, but other than that, nah, dude's probably going to average maybe 34% from the field, maybe 8 points a game. But the Sports Center ticker will always say, like 0 turnovers or 30 minutes played, whatever makes it look good,
Absolutely. We got another super chat from Gary for AOH. It says, salute AOH, you're single-handedly changing narrative day by day. Never let the fro go. Who would like to be the face of today? Who would you like to be the face of today's NBA?
Thank you. Yeah, I work on it. Those videos with visual evidence take a while, so I'm glad people like you watch them and appreciate them. No, man, I look good. I will never get rid of this. Man, we've talked about the face thing on here a few times. And it's really sad to say that I can't claim to be excited about anyone becoming the next face. There isn't, even if you're a skilled player, there just isn't anybody that I'm like, wow, you check all the boxes for me, and you should definitely take the lead. And I admittedly don't watch many Spurs games. People say pretty nice things about Wemby. He is a freak at what he's able to do at his size, and he seems pretty great on camera. But I don't know if that's enough to be the face. What?
No, it's Soup God.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if Luka didn't sort of look like LeBron in his whining, and everybody who criticizes Luka for the crying, I'm not going to defend it, but it's not on LeBron's level. Do not pretend like it's on LeBron's level. But yeah, sorry. My answer is that I'm not inspired by any potential faces, and maybe that's why we've lingered for so long, or maybe the NBA is spending so much time marketing a dying star of LeBron James that we aren't looking at who the next face should be.
All right. We got another super chat from John Choi. Just said it's complete crap for $5 US. I don't know where it went to. There's
That's
another
some Scap
one.
stuff right there.
Yeah, that's probably me.
Oh, okay. And then for there's another one for from Gary, $5 US. Salute, Scap. Thank you for coming back. You know I love your work and rock with your channel heavy. If LeBron was drafted in '84, how would his career go?
Yeah, I mean, look, LeBron, and I don't want to, usurp any more time than I already have, but I did just want to piggyback just a couple things I heard. The 40, 50, 60 point games. I mean, that's a great metric in really, it's a great case study in, elite high level ability of scoring. And Kobe, again, is top 3 in all of those. And it's not even close, by the way, with LeBron and Kobe in respect to those 40, 50, and 60 point games. I mean, I think Kobe has like 122 40-point games. LeBron has like 77. It's 25 50-point games for Kobe to 14 for LeBron, I think. And then 6 60-point games for Kobe to 1 for LeBron. And look, this is LeBron playing much longer than Kobe at a much healthier level. And then segueing into this generation, this era that we're in, like post 2013, where like pace and scoring are on the absolute uptick. It's unbelievable. Like these last 2 seasons, this year and last, mirrored the 60s in terms of pace and scoring. The NBA Kobe lived in for his entire 20-year career was like in the mid to upper 90s. And yet he still is like top 3 all time in 40, 50, 60 point games. Kobe was a high level scorer, an endless bag. Kobe had the biggest bag in NBA history, in my humble opinion. LeBron's bag is minuscule. It's tiny. And had he been drafted in 1984 and come up in that slugfest, in the deep, now the defense really didn't start ratcheting up till like the 92, 93 season, but still, had LeBron played in that, and really LeBron's go-to move is put his head down and just ram people underneath the basket and try to get layups and dunks or get to the free throw line. Yeah, that wasn't really working necessarily in the late 80s and early into the mid 90s and upper 90s. So, I mean, look, LeBron, he's an athletic specimen. He takes care of his body, allegedly maybe a little too much care to his body, if you believe the smoke behind the several legitimate looking steroid allegations surrounding him. But just the freak athlete that he is, and the meticulous care that he takes of himself. Look, he would be a legitimate NBA player, if not like an upper tier NBA player, one of the 10 best players maybe in that era had he played, maybe, I don't know, 10 to 15 to 20. But I mean, would he have succeeded at the level that he did today, where the NBA essentially is completely like built for his success? I don't think so. And this is my final point on this. One quick final point. There wasn't the player movement that there was now back then. So LeBron would have been stuck basically wherever he got drafted. And as we know, the only reason he won anything is because he just jumps from one ready-made championship team after the next.
I just want to thank Mark Law and Skeezy F Baby, I believe, for some of these super chats. We're going to go on the Speed Engine, though. Speed Engine, what you got to? What's your takes on all of this Kobe versus LeBron stuff?
It's tough to follow Scap because he has numbers and I just have opinions, but I do think it's a little bit different. I've been alive for Jordan. I've been alive for Kobe. I've been alive for LeBron. I think a basic eye test will tell you that Kobe was better. I think years from now, everyone's going to look at stats. And I think that's what LeBron and that's what Clutch is kind of depending on, because there's not going to be any context. But if you were alive during the Lakers 2-3 piece like I was, and I was a Laker hater. I couldn't stand Kobe. I couldn't stand Shaq. Couldn't stand Rick Fox. None of them. And I still remember to this day Mike Bibby getting up with a bloody nose talking about he fouled Kobe. And that was the Tim Donaghy series. So, like I said, couldn't stand the Lakers back in the day. But, you know, even when you compare the two, you see the work that Kobe puts in, or you saw the work that Kobe put in. And this is pre-social media. You didn't hear about it. You weren't told about it. You just saw the impact. I think LeBron's the exact opposite. We're consistently told what he does. And I think that's to overcompensate for the fact that he is on steroids. The idea that LeBron is more often compared to Magic than he is Jordan, I think that in a way is a cop out to kind of give him a little bit of grace to say he doesn't need to be like Jordan because he's more like Magic. And I find that that's more of a, let's give him a little bit of a pass. At Kobe's height, the entire NBA kind of wasn't really messing with him from a marketing standpoint. I mean, he was dealing with the rape allegations. He was dealing with the beef with him and Shaq. And even with all of that, his greatness still kind of rose above. You compare that to LeBron, who has an entire league going for him, and he's still out here trying to convince people that he's, the GOAT. Also, Kobe's sneakers still sell way more than LeBron's, and he's been gone how long? I think that's a real world, testament to popularity, to greatness.
All right, real fast. We got a couple more super chats that came in from Tyler Dunn. Thank you for the statement. It's for Scap Attack. And then we got another one here. I don't know what this is, but 899 INR. I don't know what that translates to in US dollars, but it's red, so I think it's a lot. It boggles my mind that this dude does not have a pull-up jumper and pays his minions to say he is clutch. No sane player would drive for the last shot of the game. Scap and AOH, please respond. If you want to respond first, AOH, and then Scap.
Yeah, that's a great point. Being afraid to take an open jumper and prefer to go to the lane. Yeah, he doesn't have that go-to game-winning shot. If anything, that's quite the testament against LeBron James. Especially with the amount of time that he's had. How many times did we see Jordan or Kobe come back from the offseason with a new weapon, and LeBron comes back with new excuses? He doesn't find a way to overcome any area that he needed to overcome, other than having the fan base and the media say, well, it's okay because let's forgive him because. Well, that's not inspiring. It's disgusting. It's the basis of my hate for LeBron James, and pays his minions. Good Lord, it's not even, there's freaking proof of it. It's not even a hypothesis that this is happening. It's an ongoing campaign. There's an ongoing funding behind pushing the idea of LeBron James. And even before we had confirmation of that, you could just tell by the way these guys are talking. I mean, anyone intelligent, whether you like LeBron James or not, you're like, okay, enough. You guys are just talking nonsense. So anyway, that's my super chat response. Did you want me to go on with the main topic or do some more?
Scap, they're looking for Scap, and just to move forward, I'm blessed, and I'm going to speak for the whole panel with all these super chats, but I'm just going to flash these on the screen unless they come up as red, because we got to keep the show going. But thank you. I will flash them on the screen though. What do you have to say about this, Scap?
Yeah, it's one of the primary reasons that Kobe will forever and always be above LeBron is because of that, the Mamba mentality, so to speak. But, synonymous with Mamba mentality is like the alpha mindset, the closer, the killer, whatever. Like these kind of synonyms that have never been used to describe LeBron James. So a lot of it does just go to like straight mindset. I mean, LeBron, he just doesn't want to take those shots. You know, we've seen him pass over and over and over again in those big situations. He has to systematically stack guys around him that want to take those shots, that can take those shots. You know, I mean, I'll get out here real quick, but like Kobe was taking those shots when he was 18 years old. You know, it's been well publicized, the air balls against Utah, but look at the courage that took for a young kid, like barely established in the NBA, he was maybe 18 or 19, to take like 3 or 4 successive, like game altering shots. He missed them all. That kind of failure didn't cripple him though. It emboldened him to go and work and get better and to come back and make those shots. LeBron lacks the courage and conviction to even want them. It's just a pathetic loser mindset. And that's why he has to continue to mercenary himself out to super team after super team, because if that kind of responsibility is put on his shoulders, he can't take it. He's failed over and over again, and we've seen it over and over again, which is why he just simply will never clear Kobe Bryant. Thanks for the super chat.
And we have Johnny Arnett in the house for $19.99 US. I'm just going to briefly mention this because he's got a larger channel. He says, been fun to watch these debates. It's hard for Kobe to beat the depth of LeBron's complete resume, but if we're talking peak versus peak, I can't go against the Mamba. The fact that KB won 5 rings with all his injuries is insane. Thanks for watching, Johnny Arnett, and you should call in sometime to the show. Anyway, Robin, what do you got to say about all this?
Yeah, so my man Johnny Arnett, he talked about the depth of LeBron James's longevity and how Kobe Bryant stand up to that. This is what we've been alluding to if you've been listening to this live stream right now. Because what I've been hearing from all you guys, and you guys have been breaking it down in different aspects. Man, Dan was breaking down the on-court game about needing screens and how he needs to manipulate the on-court to get open, all these things. Scap, you broken down the numbers. My man Hoop Guy, you guys are broken this down. What I'm getting from this is what I talk about on my channel. He's not even worthy to be in this conversation with Kobe Bryant. That's what it seems like to me. Because what you guys have been saying, and Scap, you said something about maybe it's a push as far as LeBron James and Kobe Bryant on the defensive end. Absolutely not. How dare you even let Kobe Bryant down by even saying that? LeBron James can't shine Kobe Bryant's shoes. And what I mean by that is what? The consistency or lack of from LeBron James on the defensive end. Why is LeBron James not considered an all-time great defensive player, even though he's a much greater athlete than so many people they'll have you believe? Why are these things? Because LeBron James has not consistently been great on defense. At his best, at his peak on defense, he was good. He was never consistently great. That's why they'll tell you, oh, in 2011, LeBron James shut down MVP Derrick Rose in the Eastern Conference Finals. But he followed that up by not being able to stop Jason Terry or JJ Barea, though, in the very next round. That goes to the lack of consistency from LeBron James. You guys mentioned something about LeBron James not taking the challenge against Kevin Durant in the NBA Finals. Absolutely. Once again, showing you're not worthy. You think Kobe Bryant's going to switch screens and allow 35-year-old Richard Jefferson to be guarding primetime Kevin Durant in the NBA Finals? It's absolutely laughable when you go back and you watch those games. How many screens LeBron James allowed to be switched and all this nonsense? They're not even real screens. In the 80s and the 90s, guys set legit screens. Michael Jordan was fighting through these things. Kobe Bryant was known for fighting through screens, giving the what? The effort on the defensive end. So don't ever say that LeBron James or Kobe Bryant are anywhere on the level of the same defensive player. He didn't give the same effort. 21 seasons in, this man got 6 all-defensive teams to show for it. That's laughable. Absolutely laughable, man. Let's think about the Olympic Dream Team, where Kobe Bryant absolutely embarrassed LeBron James just through his work ethic. You got guys like Chris Bosh talking about, yeah, man, I thought I was going to get there early and be the guy. And Kobe Bryant's already covered in sweat, man. This dude was the standard, like Michael Jordan was. It don't have to necessarily do with the on-court game. And you guys mentioned that. Once again, not worthy to be compared to Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant had a go-to move at the end of games. He knew where he was going, whether it was a bad shot or a good shot, whether it went in or not, is irrelevant. You guys said it before. He was willing to take these shots. LeBron James, not willing. So he's not worthy to be compared to a Kobe Bryant in the all-time rankings. That's why I always tell people, LeBron James will never be a top 10 all-time player. He's not worthy to be in these conversations, man, and he's not worthy to be compared to Kobe Bryant, man.
What do you got to say about this, AOH?
Well done, sports and fitness. Well done. Let me have a different approach. I'm not gonna try and debate by numbers whether Kobe and was better than LeBron. I would rather talk about the timeline of when the fans were told things. I remember a time, and I brought this up before, Hoop God says he remembers. I remember a time when we were told that Kobe was better than Michael. Kobe was, for a period of time, put in the number one spot. And that's while Kobe was in his prime. For some reason, it's important for people to think that they're watching the best ever, or it's important to at least get people talking about whether they are watching the best ever. And then that disappeared. But look at LeBron's hype. LeBron was being declared the best ever before he'd done a damn thing. And that's super suspicious. Whether you think LeBron ended up being the best ever or the greatest ever, he was anointed before he'd done a damn thing, much less get anywhere near the number of rings of Kobe or Michael. I mean, he's still, you have to count bullshit rings in order for him to even be near the number of rings that they have. But forget the rings. Think about when you were told that he was the GOAT. It came ridiculously early for LeBron James. You have to question that by itself and think, wait a minute, something's going on here. If he could have become the GOAT later on, that's one thing. But you were already being convinced by the media, or at least they were attempting to convince you that he was the GOAT. And it happened a little bit with Kobe. Not much, but I do remember it happening. And I just was amazed at how quickly Kobe was shoved from that position in order to start talking about the next guy, which makes you think, well, this is just about talking about who the next GOAT might be rather than actually dissecting who the real GOAT is. And then after that, you can break down the style of play, like the dishing. You know, by the way, Scap, see, I cheered against Kobe. And regardless of the fact that I cheered against Kobe, you can still appreciate somebody's style of play. You know, I remember the air balls against Utah, and I was laughing and loving it because I didn't like that Kobe and Shaq and the Laker thing. And I tell you, I don't know if I commend taking all those shots, but I do commend not going down the path of Nick Anderson and just mentally being destroyed and never, ever being able to come back. You know, it does mean something to be the type of mentality to be able to come back and be like, nope, yeah, I messed up and I'm going to keep going. So I agree with that. And I commend that. And I've been thinking about this ever since I saw Daniel Gafford launched into temporary fame when the Mavericks were doing well. And you know what it looked like to me? It looked like LeBron James's career in Miami. You know, LeBron James catching alley-oops. LeBron James being the recipient of great opportunities. You know, you might as well put Daniel Gafford in the same conversation of greatness as LeBron James if you go back and you look at those Miami years. And
anyway, let's move on.
Last thing, wait, Scap, this is for Scap. Kobe dished and created those opportunities for other people to finish like that more than LeBron did. LeBron was the recipient of those types of things more than the disher. That's my point at the end of that.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to respond to sports rants and fitness and AOH. I agree, sports rants and fitness about the defense. I think Kobe, of course, has the check mark over LeBron. I was trying to throw a bone to I thought, I'm kind of disappointed. All of us agree in this room that Kobe clears LeBron. I was setting my trap. I was setting the stage and trying to throw a bone to some kind of a LeBron supporter in here, maybe, and just give them something. Give them defense, give them assists, something. But no, everybody in here is sane, level-headed, and a rational basketball fan. Is it too late to get FYF Sports in here? Is it too late?
No, he's scouting for the Suns. Apparently, I asked. He was supposed to do a debate, but he's scouting for the Phoenix Suns Suns this weekend.
Because I don't know much about FYF, but I could tell by his anti-Kobe standpoints last week and the fact that he loves him some Scottie Pippen. I could tell that he's a Jordan hater, one, and secondly, a Kobe hater that has LeBron over Kobe. I could just tell.
No. Well, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna tell you guys why LeBron James is greater than Kobe Bryant. For one, Bronny James is in the league, so that makes him greater than Kobe Bryant. For one, two, he won the bubble championship in Disney World. In 2016, he had Kyrie go and shoot him that last shot to win in a Game 7 series. He's the chosen one. No, obviously I'm being sarcastic here, but just to the point of it is that Kobe Bryant, in my opinion, objectively speaking, because there's some people that will go and say, "Oh, we're all just making up narratives." So think about it like this. For me, at least, when I think about greatness, it's about dominance and it's about impact and influence. So if you look at it, Kobe Bryant won 5 NBA championships, all NBA team caliber. He's won 2 scoring titles. It's the same amount of statistical titles. That means that he was greater than everyone in the league during that time with that. And then also, I think it's not even close about how much influence he had and impact on moving the league forward, pushing it to the next level. And this is something that I just hold against LeBron in general. He was sandwiched in by Kobe Bryant and Steph Curry in respect to the marketing value of players in the league. To say that he was the most popular, it's all pushed by the media. It's not something that the people had at least what I've seen, people talk more about Kobe and Steph versus LeBron. I just don't even understand how a lot of these things go. And all you guys were talking about the stats, talking about the character, talking about the defense. I think it's all relevant in respect to how he's also better than LeBron James. But I think even when you use the word greater, it's not even close, in my opinion. You can argue the statistical dominance, but he's got one more championship as a leader of a team, and the impact and influence is night and day, in my opinion. I don't even think it's close. But moving on forward for this, Robin, what do you think is the most ridiculous reason why people put LeBron James over Kobe Bryant?
Well, you're seeing a bunch of these reasons in the comment section right now. If you're reading the comment section, we got some goofs in here like we normally get. You know what's funny? As a lot of people say that we are talking nonsense or we're saying this or that, but the same people keep you keep coming back. You keep coming back. And you know why you keep coming back? Because we got the facts over here. Scap, you said something about, we all agreeing and things of that nature. But we ain't all agreeing in the comment section, and we are not all agreeing out here in the mainstream media and with these other larger YouTube platforms and some of these other clowns with their podcasts, these ex-NBA players, man. So we're fighting an uphill battle regardless, man. And with people like you and some of the other guys on this panel, man, with your followings, man, the people that you have subscribed to your channels, you're making a difference because, once again, what we're doing here is setting the record straight, man. It's very important that we not allow these people to do what? Rewrite their history. You know what's funny? I see some people in the comment section talking about stats. Some fool in there talking about, hey, if you ain't got 100% stats to back you up, then you ain't saying nothing. Stats? So we're going to sit here and act like LeBron James ain't traveling all up and down the court and scoring after he travels? We're going to act like we don't see LeBron James offensive fouling up and down the court, still being allowed to score and getting all these free throws, all of these things. We're going to act like these kinds of things aren't happening. But on the flip side, these same people are trying to come after Michael Jordan and all these other people based off of stats. They'll say, well, Michael Jordan was getting fake stats in home court games. So wait a second, what are we talking about here? We're going to sit here and say that only one player or only this player was getting his help on stats and things of this nature? Once again, it don't add up, man. These people, this is what I'm saying. You can't even talk and debate these people because they got you going in circles. You don't know where the hell you are. You're trying to talk basketball and you end up talking about something that got nothing to do with basketball. They're talking about LeBron James's money and the things he does for the people out there. What people? He ain't doing a goddamn thing for anybody, man. He can't even do anything for his teammates. So it's a laughable for me, man, when we're doing these things, man. And you think about something like the 2009 NBA playoffs, man, and everything that was leading up into the NBA finals that season, man. That's a microcosm for everything in LeBron James and Kobe Bryant's career, man. Both of these guys, you can say, were at the peaks, man. You can argue it's MVP LeBron James. That's Kobe Bryant, man. They're both right now, 2009. They're primed up. We just coming off that embarrassment for LeBron James in the Olympics, where Kobe Bryant was leading the way. And what happened in 2009? They had the public commercials for Nike. Everyone thought LeBron James was going to meet Kobe Bryant there. And we still waiting for LeBron James to show up. He didn't show up, man. And we all know, man, he folded up, man. And once again, Kobe Bryant proving, man, that he could beat the team that beat LeBron James, man. Once again, man, this is a complete joke for people to talk about stats and that's the end-all be-all, or that Kobe Bryant doesn't have certain stats over LeBron James. Once again, man, someone talked about scoring and things of that nature in the chat, man. You're going to sit here and try to tell me that LeBron James is a greater scorer than Kobe Bryant? Man, get the hell out of here, man. Stop the nonsense, man. LeBron James not even a greater scorer than someone like Tracy McGrady or Jerry West or some of these other great scorers, man. Stop it.
All right, Hoop God, what do you got to say about all this? Oh, Hoop God, I got you muted. What? You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
Hoop
now.
God.
Yeah.
All right, what you got to say about all this?
Okay, yeah. So to follow up what Scap and Sports and Fitness said, yes, I want to add this in too. This is what I see a common theme, the longevity, which in my opinion, unless you're winning, then what is the longevity argument? Okay, if you won 5 championships like Kobe did in a 10, 11-year span, and then you keep adding to that, right? Now the longevity, it has a solid foundation. But if you have not surpassed Kobe in all defensive teams and scoring titles and championships, then what is the longevity argument? I mean, it's empty. Then we get to the triple doubles because I hear this. Well, LeBron has more triple doubles. Okay, let me try to turn my common sense brain on. Why would a shooting guard be competing with a small forward for triple doubles? That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. That's not a formula for winning. Because if you look at all the other guys who average triple doubles outside of Nikola Jokic, what did it lead to? Nothing. So again, that's an irrelevant aspect they'll try to bring up. Then we get to appearances, right? The objective, to quote the famous Herm Edwards, you play to win the game. Nobody cares about appearances. I'm like, wait a minute. So you're telling me we've went from the Bill Russell Celtics winning 8 straight, Michael Jordan Bulls 3-peating twice, the Kobe Bryant Lakers 3-peating with Shaquille O'Neal, and then Kobe Bryant going back to the finals with Pau Gasol and 2-peating. Now we're talking about appearances. I'm like, yo, no, what y'all not about to do is lower the bar. See, when you have 2 players who've set the standard of excellence so high, what do you have to do? You have to attack them and try to tear them down. So no, I'm not going to let that happen, just like I know you guys aren't going to let that happen. And I want to follow up on some things that were mentioned earlier. With LeBron James, if he's this great playmaker, right, why hasn't he ever assisted on a game-winning shot in the finals like Michael Jordan did with Steve Kerr, like Kobe Bryant did with Ron Artest? When LeBron's teammates outside of Ray Allen scored those shots, they were self-created. He was a spectator, okay? When Kyrie Irving hit the shot, LeBron was a spectator. When Anthony Davis hit the shot, LeBron was a spectator. Even when Dwayne Wade would close games, LeBron is a spectator. Ray Allen hits the shot that got assisted by Chris Bosh, not by LeBron James. So again, I always challenge these narratives that they put out here, and they want to bolster LeBron, but at the end of the day, to sum it up, if you have to use longevity, appearances, and hollow stats, then you already know that your argument has no foundation whatsoever.
All right, real fast. We got another super chat from. Yes, we got another super chat from Mahathi. It was red, so that means it's a lot. I don't know what the equivalent is. I don't know who it's going to either. But it says LBJ don't have the fundamentals of basketball footwork. LeBron, Kobe worked with Hakeem. Kobe picked up below post footwork like it's second nature. LeBron just looks like a big, dull, uncoordinated guy. Speam Engine, you want to speak on that since it's not targeted at anyone?
I think that's about $11, the $8.99 Indian rupees, if I'm not mistaken.
It says it's red though. Red usually means, it's a lot. So I don't know.
Thank you for giving me the undisclosed amount of money question. Comment. No. Actually, because I was taking notes as we were talking, speaking about LeBron being uncoordinated. I'll get to that in a second. The one thing that drives me insane is the pass first narrative about LeBron. Lifetime stats: Kobe's 25, 5, and 5. LeBron's 28, 27, 8, and 7. And are you really a pass first player, right? Only getting 2 more assists a game than supposedly the biggest chucker of all time, right? Which is what people call Kobe. So again, false narrative, just looking at stats. LeBron has no, I mean, I've seen him dribble. I've seen him try to cross over. I've seen him mistakenly throw the ball behind his back and through Tristan Thompson's leg. And then SportsCenter have it #1 top plays all time in the history of sports every day. It seems like, it sounds crazy, but it seems like a lot of his offensive success is either it's from the refs or it's just a fluke, or just purely running through somebody. I've seen that man fail to tie his shoes on national television. So you can't mean to tell me that he is technically sound enough to control an offense. Whereas you have somebody like Kobe, who he was basically a soccer player on a basketball field, on a basketball court. Everything he did was, I mean, aside from the rape stuff, everything he did was kind of poetic and natural and not forced. And that's the exact opposite of what LeBron does. All his work is done in the gym, $3 million a year on his body, this and that. But I mean, for all that longevity, it's just like Hoop God said, what are you doing with all that?
Speed Engine, we'll come back to you about this stuff. But Mel, you got a super chat, and then what do you think is the most ridiculous reason why people put LeBron James over Kobe Bryant? But if you want to address the super chat that was sent to you.
Yeah, thanks for the super chat, Juno. Yeah, that's true. Kobe did have an option to go for the scoring title the last game of the season, which would have been multiple scoring titles for him. But you know, him and Phil decided that he should sit that game out so he could rest for the playoffs and go for a championship. And Kevin Durant ended up putting up the numbers and got this scoring title that year. So that's for that super chat. But appreciate that, Juno. But as far as why people put LeBron over Kobe, it's ignorance and propaganda. So this is how this went, right? The NBA wanted to expand. The NBA wanted to become global. They wanted all types of fans. And I think early on in the 90s, I think we had more of a core fan base of people that really love basketball. So the way we consumed basketball, the way we talked about it, it was really based on fundamentals, playing both ends of the court, winning, things of that nature, right? And once the NBA started to expand and grab more fans who didn't really love basketball, I got to figure out how to become marketable to a kid that probably don't play sports. I got to be marketable to some grown-up man that never played sports. I got to be more marketable to females because we're trying to grab as many as audience members as possible. They started to change the game in a way it was more palatable for them, right? And then you get the debate shows coming along, and in order for entertainment to be built around the NBA, they start discussing basketball just for debate purposes, and they start throwing these stats all out of the place. And they really taught these casual fans that the NBA brought in how to consume and talk about basketball, and it was just about stats, right? Now the debate shows was doing it just for fun and for entertainment, but the new fans started using that as their basis of which player is better than another player. So now we got all these players who don't know basketball being told what basketball is all about by people who never played, like Nick Wright, or football players like Shannon Sharp, or fat, unathletic, failed football players like Jason Whitlock, or failed basketball players like Stephen A. Smith, who even if he played for Winston-Salem State, he probably wasn't even that good like he claimed he is. He don't seem like he know basketball to me. So these are the guys that are leading the conversation and teaching these non-athletic new basketball fans what basketball is about. And then you get these guys like us who actually love the sport more than we love the players that play the sport. And we're talking about it in a logical way. You get us in the same room with these guys talking about stats, and we're talking about actual real basketball on both ends of the floor and with winning in mind and not stats in mind.
Nick, what do you got to say about all this?
Yeah, it's a lot there. As some of you know, I've done some in-depth videos on stats with LeBron and MJ, so people can go look at that if they want. But I guess mainly through all that, it reminded me when we're doing these debates, the top 10 debates, right? And it's nut cutting time, as they say, and you really got to put one guy over the other, and what's it going to be? Two-way ability was a huge thing, and also how you won kind of ended up being these things that put people over the others. And again, look, in terms of I kind of echo, I think it was Robin was saying, I don't really think LeBron is that good of a defender, to be honest with you. Like, in terms of just pure athleticism, like you could make some argument there. Maybe you could say that just being able to roam around the court, the chase down blocks, he is a little versatile, right? But in terms of what Kobe brought, right? I believe Jordan, since they've had the all defensive award, I think West, Jordan, and Kobe are the only players to ever lead the league in scoring and make an all defensive team, correct? So when we're talking about the GOATs, the two-way dominance is a big thing for me. And I've thought people are overselling how much LeBron is a good defender. And then we also get to kind of echo that, right? I think Jordan and Kobe are kind of the only guys who ever reached that stratosphere. Whenever they were in the Olympics or something like that, they came to the coach and said, I want to guard the best player or the best relative, guard that I'm going up against all game, right? Like, I am trying to send a message here. And I just don't think LeBron has that in him. And to kind of wrap it up, right, because we've said a bunch of stuff, but in terms of stats and whatnot, I mean, I've echoed several times, LeBron's only led the league twice in any stat. Kobe led the league twice in scoring. If we go and compare how LeBron gets his shots, right, this kind of goes back. Someone said, could he play back in the day or in Kobe's time? LeBron needs space because he is an athlete. He needs to roam and run. And like someone said, he catches oops. He makes athletic plays. When we get tight into the half court, and I've done a video where I've broken down his shooting, it is nothing but layups and dunks or threes. I mean, there really is nothing in between. LeBron does not have a bag, in my opinion, when we're talking about the GOATs here, correct? He does not have a bag. His offense and defense, to me, is overrated in terms of trying to compare him to someone like Kobe. I don't even think it's close, right? What Kobe could do on the defensive or offensive end. I just don't even really think this is a debate. And, just to reiterate how he ever got past LeBron, I mean, like you guys all kind of said, there's all these other arguments they brought up, and I'm just not sold. Like, I'm looking at these two players, and I'm not sold in any way that LeBron is better than Kobe.
I have a 20-second addition to what he said there, because you know what LeBron fans are going to do. They're going to be like, how can you say he doesn't have a bag? And they'll come up with a highlight reel. Tell me one person who has made it to the NBA that you can't make a highlight reel for. I mean, these are NBA players. You're going to be able to find,
well, I guess he's not quite there yet.
You're going to be able to find them dunking, three-point shooting, mid-ranging, dishing. They're NBA players. Putting together a highlight reel, especially over a 21-year period, does not mean someone has a bag.
All right. Is that all you had to say, AOH?
I'm just adding on to that part of what Nick said.
Oh, it's your turn.
Oh, shit. Well, what's on my mind is FYF. I think it was 2 weeks ago, whining about mirroring Michael Jordan. Why do people have to be like Michael Jordan to be considered the greatest? And all these people, their game is supposed to mirror Michael Jordan. And I'm sure he was talking about this because of Kobe, because people say Kobe mirrored Michael more than other people. Well, first of all, I did have a counterpoint. I'm like, if anybody comes into the league and just blows our minds, even if they do it with their own style, then they blow our minds. If you can be the GOAT doing something different than Michael Jordan, then you did it. But also think about the other side. Why is Michael Jordan the GOAT? Because he was so complete. Why would players not aspire to be the most complete player? I mean, that's what made Michael Jordan great. What could you take away from it? That he wasn't tall, so he wasn't a center. He's not going to bring to the table what a Kareem or a Shaq or somebody like that does. But other than that, with his size, he scored in every way physically possible. And in fact, he did score down on the block. So I just think it's a really embarrassing, whiny argument to say that people shouldn't be measured by the greatest ever, and that it's unfair to think that they should resemble the greatest ever on their way to becoming the greatest ever. You'd have to bring something very, very unique to the table to have less of an overall game than Michael Jordan and still be able to be the greatest ever. How do you even achieve that if you don't have as many tools as Michael Jordan had?
I agree 100%.
Thank you.
Speed Manager, what do you guys say?
Is this in reference to the LeBron not needing a system?
No. You're. Let me pull that down. No, what's
the
what's
craziest thing
Yeah,
about
the craziest, yeah, or what anyone else has said.
I gotta go with the pass first narrative. Again, I gotta come back to it because I think it was mentioned in the chat a couple of times. I think it's either this upcoming season or the season after that. LeBron's going to lead the league in misses and attempts. That's crazy for a pass first player. And again, Kobe played in a tougher time, a tougher era. I know that that's low hanging fruit, but that's the truth of the matter. No context. I mean, yeah, if LeBron stays in the East, his first 8 years of his career and plays the likes of Oladipo, Paul George, David West, all those guys, like decent players, of course his stats are going to blow up. Again, that's low-hanging fruit, and nobody takes that into consideration because they don't have the eye test. They just go off of the numbers. So I think it's the pass first narrative, and I think it's only going to get worse because as we get further and further removed from these seasons, you're only going to see, like AUH said, highlights from LeBron, which is just the same thing over and over again. Just like when he won the slam dunk contest in high school, same dunk over and over and over again. But the hype was real, and and here we are, still being carried by it.
All right,
Excuse me.
Jay, what do you got? Jay, what do you got to say about all this?
Yeah, I'll talk as quickly as possible because there's a lot of things that annoy me. There's a lot of crazy things I think out there as to why many hoist LeBron over Kobe. Like first and foremost is the longevity BS that I just can't stomach it anymore. Like when, where, and how did we start using counting stats as the be all determinant? Like Elvin Hayes has more total rebounds, and more total points than Tim Duncan. Hayes averaged more rebounds and points per game than Tim Duncan. Like we've never heard that Elvin Hayes is a better player than Tim Duncan. Carmelo Anthony has a lot more points than Larry Bird. I never heard that conversation percolating around those two players in the NFL. If you want to go there, do you guys know that Joe Flacco has more career passing yards than Joe Montana? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Frank Gore has more rushing yards than Barry Sanders. Nowhere at any point in time have we been championing these like longevity counting metrics. It's about peak dominance, like at when you're at the top of your game. So that's first and foremost is the counting stats. Also, you can go to the per game stats. Someone mentioned it earlier. It's Kobe about 25, 5, and 5 per game. LeBron like 27, 7, and 7-ish per game. But all stats are not created equal. Again, look at the era-specific differential of the time that Kobe played versus the time that LeBron played. Yes, there was some overlap. But in that overlap, when LeBron was playing in the more stringent defensive era, his numbers weren't as good. He shot in the 40s, in like the 47% range. It was only in these last 10 to 12 years as, pacing and scoring started upticking. People stopped playing defense, that he started padding his shooting percentages. And let me get on to shooting percentage too, by the way, because that's another one that annoys the ever-loving hell out of me. Oh, well, LeBron's just more efficient than Kobe. Like he's just a better scorer because he's more efficient. Why? Oh, because he shoots a higher field goal percentage or a higher effective field goal percentage. Okay, do you guys know DeAndre Jordan has the highest field goal percentage in NBA history. He has the highest effective field goal percentage in NBA history. You want to know who's not in the top 10 on either of those lists? Steph Curry. So I guess we're just wrong all this time. We're hearing about Steph Curry as the greatest shooter ever. It's actually DeAndre Jordan. Of course not, because you take into things like context, where they're shooting, how they're getting their shots. For some reason, things that are never brought into account when we're talking about Kobe and LeBron. Finally, I know my clock is ticking here, but I do want to slide in the MVP thing, because the MVP thing annoys the ever-loving hell out of me. Kobe only has one MVP. Okay, there's been 6 players in NBA history, I'll make this as quick as I can, that have 10 top 5 finishes or more, 10 top 5 finishes or more in league end, year-end MVP voting. Only 6 guys: Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, and Michael Jordan. 5 of those 6 guys have at least 4 league MVPs. Kobe only has 1. It's complete and total garbage. And on that list, by the way, only Kareem and LeBron have more than Kobe. Kareem has 15 top 5 finishes in MVP. LeBron has 13 top 5 finishes. Kobe has 11. Somehow Kobe only gets 1 league MVP. So I'm sick and tired of hearing about, oh, well, Kobe only has 1 MVP. And while I'm not going to dig into this, because yes, I've talked a bit here, the Shaq carried Kobe thing is another thing that absolutely destroys me every time I hear it. Like, tell me somehow that your IQ is below 80 without telling me it. Utter the line, Shaq carried Kobe, or Kobe was like a second option on the team. Get out of here with that. So I'll open it up. I'll let other people talk. But if you want me to come back and squash that Shaq Kobe thing a little more specifically, just let me know.
Hey, can I piggyback on the longevity thing
Yeah, sure.
real quick?
Yeah. Yep.
So people got to be honest about the longevity thing, because being able to play past 35 because you went and found a younger guy that is equal or better than you, and somehow you was able to get him to acquiesce to you and kind of like, make it seem like you're still the main guy on the team, but he's really carrying you. And then the media is doing your bidding by telling all the other people that you're still the guy. That's what LeBron specialized in. I mean, Kareem did it, but he didn't do it purposely. He's an older guy, and then you get Magic, who's a guy that's as great as you and younger than you that can carry the load, right? Shaq kind of did it with Miami with Wade, but with Kobe and Mike, there was such guys that wanted to do it by themselves, or not by themselves, but they wanted to lead the charge, that just because they wanted to continue to play, they couldn't fathom tricking everyone into thinking they're still doing it, but getting a younger guy to piggyback off of. They said, once I can't carry a team the way I normally did in my prime, it's time for me to walk away from the game. But LeBron won't walk away from the game and pass the torch to someone else. He's just walking out there looking like the Walking Dead. Anthony Davis is carrying him. He needs more help. But then the media is going to tell you that he's doing it, and we've never seen someone at this age play this well, which is not true. If Michael Jordan decided that he wanted to go play with Tim Duncan instead of retire, he would have been playing phenomenal basketball and playing meaningful basketball in the playoffs, just like LeBron. Same with Kobe. If he wanted to say, hey, Lakers, I want you to go ahead and go find me a superstar that's in his prime, bring him here. So that's my longevity piece. It makes no sense to me. When you watch the actual game, Michael Jordan on the Wizards actually played better than LeBron. And I think I seen either Scap or Angro Hoops fans do a side-by-side comparison of that, which was really good, right? Then the last point I make about the go ahead, Dart, my bad.
Yeah. Let me do my thing, and we're gonna move on to the next segment.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, the most ridiculous thing for why people say that LeBron is greater than Kobe, and it's to the point of where they say he's the GOAT, is winning in 2016 against the Golden State Warriors, who they conflate as being the 2017 Warriors with Kevin Durant. Because all of a sudden, the 2016 Warriors is the greatest team of all time. They don't have Kevin Durant. They have the injuries. They have the technical fouls. Draymond Green getting kicked out of the finals. But then they say that that's what made, and him himself said that that's what made me the GOAT, is going over and beating the greatest team of all time. It's just plainly not true, because you go and you look at the other iterations of that team. I think most people would argue that that 7 team is significantly better than the 16. And just in general, they go and they just completely omit and disregard any of the opponents that Kobe Bryant faced going through his playoff runs in the Western Conference or Western Conference specifically, i.e. the Spurs, who essentially, if the Lakers weren't there, could have possibly even, 7-peated. They came against the Lakers, which was a stacked team, but the Spurs had David Robinson, Tim Duncan, amongst others, going out throughout that time. But specifically with Kobe Bryant, in my opinion, he had a rougher road to the finals every time, especially with that three-peat. And just in the Western Conference in total, I think if you look at it, it's not even close. Now, I'm not taking that away from LeBron, but however, he still won more finals on top of it all. So I don't understand how you go and you say, well, that one finals made him the greatest of all time when it wasn't even the best Warriors team that he faced over that period of time.
Dart, can I just put a bow on this real quick and piggyback off that last comment you made? Kobe Bryant has faced more 50-plus win opponents in his NBA playoff career than any player in NBA history. He's beaten more 50-plus win opponents in the playoffs than any player in NBA history. Kobe has beaten more 50-win opponents in his playoff career than LeBron at this stage has even played. And that's with LeBron playing approximately like 10 more series in the postseason and counting. So when you're talking about the actual path and the level of difficulty that Kobe went through, it's not even close. I mean, you mentioned the Duncan Spurs, but there were a number of other great teams that Kobe was contending with in the first iteration when he had Shaq, and then at the second point when he was playing with really just Pau Gasol. I mean, that West was loaded. You had the beginning of the big three Oklahoma City Thunder with Russ and KD and Harden. You had the Phoenix Suns with MVP Nash, Amari Stoudemire, and Sean Marion. I mean, even just secondary teams like the Tracy McGrady Yao Ming Rockets and the Allen Iverson and Carmelo Anthony Nuggets. Like those conferences were absolutely loaded. And LeBron James is playing like 40-win teams to get to every finals. It's just ridiculous, the commentary of playoff opposition. I just wanted to add that in.
Absolutely. So briefly, I want to get everyone's take, just 1 minute for each of you, on LeBron James's max contract, and then we'll go and we'll take calls after that. Let's start with Mel. 1 minute. What do you think about LeBron James' contract?
I ain't got a lot of thought about his money. I think the Lakers are not very wise to give it to him. But if LeBron and Clutch Sports is doing good business to negotiate that, then more power to him. I mean, it's a business. So I mean, I don't care about his business at all. I do think it's dumb for the Lakers, because I would move on from LeBron and just go ahead and if I'm thinking about basketball, I would just go ahead and build a team that fits Anthony Davis. I would try to get LeBron to take less money than that. But I guess it makes sense to the Lakers. Maybe sometime, maybe they sat down and looked at it and was like, we're going to make that money back 10 times, right? With the Bronny propaganda and you playing with your son, and how many times, I mean, because the league is going to put them on TV for sure. So I guess it makes sense for the Lakers, but basketball wise, I probably wouldn't have done it. But
anyway, what do you got to say?
The most recent one in my mind is him being nice enough to take $1 million less after forcing them to pay him $49 million more than he's worth. And they did him the favor of paying his son, $1.7 million a year. So look, you already cost them an extra $1.7 million compared to the $1 million that you are so generously willing to give up to help the team.
Yeah.
I mean, I can
Robin. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I thought you were done.
I'm gonna cut myself. You could go on forever on that one.
Hey, but AOH, Bronny took a pay cut from his NIL deal to take that 1.7 million.
Man, and he did that.
Well
That
deserved.
because of he did that for his love of the Lakers franchise, right? And what he's gonna do for the franchise.
Robin, what you got to say?
Yeah, you know, man, LeBron James, once again, all he's doing is proving that he's always about the money, right? He's all about the fame. He's not about the love of the game, man. But I wanted to say something real briefly on this, the Shaquille O'Neal thing you guys were saying with Kobe, because that's probably the biggest travesty right now going on with Kobe Bryant's career. It's the Scottie Pippen mentality, man. It's the Scottie Pippen tactic. All they're doing, they're being disingenuous. They're not trying to give Shaquille O'Neal credit by bigging him up. They're trying to take away from Kobe Bryant's greatness by giving Shaquille O'Neal his props or saying that he was carrying Kobe Bryant. It's hilarious and laughable at best because, once again, they're acting as if Shaquille O'Neal was winning all these championships before Kobe Bryant got there. What championships was Shaquille O'Neal winning? He had Penny Hardaway. He played with talent. What happened? They had to wait for Kobe Bryant. They wouldn't even put Kobe Bryant in the damn game, man. They had him behind guys. Kobe Bryant had earned it, man. So once again, I just wanted to say it's the Scottie Pippen tactic. The same thing they do against Michael Jordan for the LeBron James fans. What do they say? All of a sudden now, Scottie Pippen's the second greatest player of the 90s, but everyone else that Michael Jordan played against wasn't good? How is that possible? It's only possible in their mind. So once again, they're doing the same thing for Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille is a great player. We're not taking anything away from Shaq. But they're being disingenuous when they make those things or the statements about Kobe Bryant. And that's what they do to tear down Kobe Bryant. It's the tear down tactics.
Speed Engine, what do you got to say?
I'm going to piggyback off AOH a little bit here. And you're dead wrong. AOH, he was way more generous than $1 million. It was he saved them $2.7 million off their cap. So instead of taking what was it, 104 mil, he took 101.35. So try to give the guy some credit, because with that money, maybe they can get like a Mac McClung or
Bronny James.
Bronny James, you know, a real powerhouse. So, you know, what pisses me off is he basically took a max contract, and then you have Dave McNenaman come out and frame it as he's taking this big sacrifice. And of course, it's Dave McNenaman, who the only great thing I've seen him do is take down Malika Andrews. So you know kind of where his head is already. And he took a max contract. It might as well be a max contract, but they're going to frame it as him sacrificing. It's sad.
Well, I'm
what do
just
you
a hate channel.
Jay, what do you got to say about the contract?
Well, you know, I got to be honest. I can't believe I've been accused on this show today of being a little too easy on LeBron. Are you getting this, jock sniffers? Are you hearing this? I'm defending LeBron. I'm giving LeBron a little bit of credit. Are you getting this? I'm about to do it again. I'm going to defend him again here on this contract, because have you seen some of the contracts that are being signed right now? It is insane what's happened in this market. Like the contract, the amount of contracts and money flowing around is absolutely incredible. Look, we know LeBron's a coward. We know he's a mercenary. We know he's a ring hunter. He wanted to try to bring some guys in. Like, he called Clay like at 6 p.m. as soon as free agency opened. He was sniffing around DeMar DeRozan. He was willing to take less money in order to try to stack up some more supporting cast. The Lakers just don't have it. They just don't have it available. So, you know, I guess whatever. Take the money and run, LeBron. If they can't get you more help, might as well get paid, I suppose.
All right, Nick, what do you got to say?
Yeah, so I think if I'm looking at this right, LeBron will be tied for the second highest paid player next year. He'll be in a three-way tie with Jokic and Embiid after Curry.
Sheesh.
Yeah,
And that's a pay cut.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, again, this guy makes so much money off the court, right? Like, just an unbelievably ungodly amount of money. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, if you want to win, I just don't understand the ego of wanting such a max contract, right? That's really all I'm going to say is he'll be tied for second, I believe, in terms of his total contract next year and what it's worth with Jokic and Embiid. So I think that has to be a total ego thing. I just don't understand it, right? Like, are you really in the trenches right now to try and get that extra 5 million or whatever it is? Are you really that committed to getting your money at this point in your career? It's just hard to see it as anything other than an ego play, and that's kind of where I'll leave it.
The problem with what Scap said, if I can interject, is that these other max contracts aren't for 40-year-old men that have been hurting your team's chances in the playoffs the last few years. And if those guys deserve the money, that's one thing, but we're not hearing all these narratives about LeBron being willing to sacrifice for the team while simultaneously taking this ridiculous amount of money. If other people are making that kind of money too, it doesn't change the fact that they're trying to make it sound like LeBron James is sacrificing, because most people know that Klay didn't go to LA because of LeBron or think that. But the defenders who want to say that it wasn't because of LeBron say that the Lakers just didn't have the money for Klay. Well, did LeBron James not have the ability to free up that money if in fact Klay wanted to come there and they really wanted Klay?
I think the problem actually with the Klay deal is that the Lakers needed help from Golden State to help bring that trade. It wouldn't have been able to be an outright direct sign from Klay Thompson. So when he actually opted out and went into free agency, it basically was a done deal that he wasn't going to LA, because it would have only had to be like some kind of a sign and trade situation. Otherwise, the Lakers really only had like the mid-level exception to offer Klay. But, look, there's probably some truth behind the fact that some of these players just don't want to play with LeBron. And I guess to my point, we're probably looking at this differently. I think you're calling on LeBron to take like a substantial cut, like, take $30 million less annually. I'm not suggesting he was willing to take that kind of a cut. I think he was probably willing to take a haircut, though, to maybe like 40 million a year instead of 55. But I guess you're thinking he should have taken like 20 or 25 and really made it possible for the Lakers to go out and have more flexibility.
Well,
I was thinking
what
40
are you
million
giving the
too,
Lakers
for the
then?
record. I was thinking 40 million too.
But if the
What are
story,
you giving the Lakers, man? Like, LeBron James don't get it, man. This is what I'm saying. These guys have lack of self-awareness. What are you giving the Lakers? What are you giving the people? We're talking about taking less money. What are you giving people incentive to come play with you? All these years, these other NBA players have witnessed the same thing that we're talking about on this panel. They're not blind. They see the people getting blamed for all this nonsense. Who wants to play with a guy who's not going to take any accountability, man? So you're not willing to take and play for free, damn it. You should be playing for the league minimum at your age, based off of your reputation and the fact that no one really wants to make it happen. You talk about the things with Klay Thompson and, the way they have to navigate these things. If they wanted to get the deal done, then guess what, Scap? The deal's getting done, man, because that's the way LeBron James has shown things have been doing. He got his son drafted to the freaking Lakers, man. These guys will do what they want to do. They got Anthony Davis to request a trade out of New Orleans to come save the day in LA. When people say that LeBron James saved the Lakers because Kobe Bryant ran them into the ground and they were terrible in Kobe's last couple of years. No, Anthony Davis saved LeBron James, man. The Lakers didn't need any saving because they were still respected as the Lakers. They're not respected as the Lakers anymore. Kobe Bryant's got murals all over the world. LeBron got one mural in LA and they vandalized it the same day. That goes to the level of respect that Kobe Bryant garnered and garnished from the people around the country and the world. That LeBron James, once again, I told you, he's not worthy of that kind of respect. So the money he's not willing to take is on him because he's a fool for thinking he deserves max money or anywhere close to that. He should be doing the Michael Jordan, donating his money to a foundation or his school or whatever the hell he wants to donate it to, man. Trying to figure out how to make his sneakers more popular because he ain't showing the defensive effort on the court, man. So damn that man.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Somebody came backstage, but I didn't drop the link. It says Pluto. I don't know if that's NNB, but I don't think so. So I don't know how that got out. Anyway, real fast. Hoop God, what do you have to say about the max contract?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be brief, so I may go over, but I wanted to come back to something that I think Scap and Sports and Fitness had mentioned earlier. Now, I was looking, just doing a little bit of researching, and the thing with Shaq, right? Shaq was the most dominant player. So for chat, listen to me again. Shaq was the most dominant player, okay? But in my estimation and what I'm seeing, Kobe was the more effective player. Here's why. In the playoffs, Kobe Bryant was only assisted by his team at a 36%, 35%, 26%, 30%, and only in 2003-04 was he assisted at a 40% clip. For comparison, when Kyrie Irving played with LeBron, Kyrie Irving was getting hits. He was accounting for only 20% of the offense from the team. So 80% of Kyrie's offense was coming from himself, much like 70% of Kobe's offense was coming from himself. Let's get to Shaq. 65% of Shaquille O'Neal's offense was being assisted on from the team. And if I had to gander, 40% of those is coming from Kobe playmaking. So that's how I want to also add to this whole Shaq and Kobe narrative, who carried who. Now, getting to the contract, come on, y'all, let's be honest. LeBron got to pay his flunkies, y'all. So yeah, he will get Dave McMillan and all the other media flunkies to say, well, yeah, LeBron's taking this pay cut. No, it's not. He's only taking $1 or $2 million less or whatever, but he still has to pay those flunkies, the Nick Rice, the Shannon Sharps, the Colin Cowturds. He got to pay those guys, right? Because if he doesn't pay them, he's not relevant. I'm gonna end it with this note. Michael Jordan does not have to mention LeBron James' name to be relevant. But you notice Clutch Sports, Snitch Paul, and all them guys, they have to bring up Michael Jordan's name every day for LeBron James. Why is that? Because they know Michael Jordan is the standard. That's all I got to say on that.
All right. I'm going to drop the link for people that want to call in. You can ask us a question, and we'll go around the horn otherwise regarding it. But the easiest way to do that is to come to my channel. If you like the show or you like what I have to say, please subscribe to my channel. But the easiest way to call in is to do it through my channel. And just as a sidebar, you should go and like and subscribe and put on the notifications for everybody in this stream. I mean, we got over 1,300 people watching this right now. So if you haven't, I think that's a good idea to do so if you like what we have to say. But I'm dropping the link right now. And then we'll wait for people to call in. But I'll be right back. I'm going to use the bathroom real fast if you guys just want to have an open discussion real fast.
Moderator's gone. But
It
I
went
do
from-
want- No, I real quick, I wanted to say to everybody in the chat, we appreciate like the back and forth, but it's kind of more proof in the pudding. Like you see how emotional, not that there's anything wrong with being emotional, but you see how emotional people get when you have anything negative to say about LeBron. And everybody on this panel now, I haven't seen any outbursts. I haven't seen any swearing, yelling, cussing, arguing, no nothing. Like cool, calm, just conservative conversation from quote unquote old heads. And then you look over in the chat and you see all this just kind of like animosity and personal attacks. And I think that comes with when your point is kind of being disproven. You know, I don't see too much logic over there, just a bunch of anger.
There's
Hey,
literally
1,300 of you.
go ahead.
You know what it is? Their genes are too tight. They're pubescent heads. They're petulant children who have not approached puberty yet, and their genes are just far too tight. I mean, that's the only other conclusion I can come up with.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I think I hate to boil things down just if we're having an open conversation. I hate to boil things down to just eye test. I hate that because there at some point in some stage going back into history was a time where you couldn't personally see or watch or experience. So, but I think there's something to it that the vast majority of people that have watched both Kobe and LeBron just pick Kobe. And the vast amount of players that went against both pick Kobe. I mean, that in and of itself, I think, is just a resounding kind of a slam dunk in Kobe's favor. And I don't want to, label most of the LeBron sycophants and fanboys as being from a newer era, but to your tight genes point, I think that it is like, if you were born of a certain time, like you're just not going to understand Kobe because he doesn't necessarily translate perfectly when it comes to the all important advanced stats. And
Exactly.
that's just one more thing I wanted to throw out there, that these analytics, these advanced analytics are another thing that lie, that's another thing that bothers me when people throw that into the conversation.
Advanced stats, it bothered me, period, because you don't even have to watch the games to judge a player off advanced stats. Like you could literally never seen a basketball game and just Google stats and do what Nick Wright does and try to determine who the better player is. So
all right, real fast for the people that are trying to join the room. There's only so much backstage. That's not it's already full, so that's not what you're not able to join because of that. But we got Mr. Moss here. Do you have a question for somebody? You got a minute to ask your question, and then they'll answer it.
Salute, fellas, man. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, hey man. I appreciate the show, man. This is it's good to hear you guys talk real NBA basketball, make great points. You guys don't lie to the people. It's not a question, it's more so a statement. I was turned off immediately after 07 and 2011 finals with LeBron James. I've never seen a star player of that caliber fold under pressure, average 2 points in the fourth quarter versus Dallas Mavericks. You allowed Jason Terry off the bench to outscore you and talk mess to you. You allowed JJ Barrera. You couldn't even post up Jason Kidd and hit the backboard, right? And then you come out years later and you make an excuse, right? Sports and Fitness Rant talks about self-awareness and self-accountability. This dude has none of that. When Kobe played bad versus the Detroit Pistons, he talked about, from a schematic standpoint, they pushed our offense too far up past the three-point line, and I could have done a better job at getting ourselves into the offense. I mean, I appreciate sports athletes who take accountability and say, you know what, this one's on me, right? And so we've never seen a meltdown of that caliber. How can you even be mentioned with the Kareems, the Kobes, the Tim Duncans, let alone the Michael Jordans, and you average 17 points, and you were the 5th or 6th best players in the NBA Finals on the biggest stage? I mean, Magic Johnson was quoted saying, "Can LeBron James stop Jason Terry?" I mean, it's flat out pathetic. You know what I'm saying? And so can you guys just kind of talk about that in that moment, that series? Because I feel like we don't harp on that enough to kind of discredit who he is. But hey man, great job, you guys, man.
Yeah.
Great show.
So we
man.
got a lot
Enjoy.
of callers trying to join. Who do you want to answer that question?
I want Sports and Fitness Rant to do it because he gonna give it to me raw and cut.
All right, Robin,
Pause.
what do you got to say?
Yo, much respect, man. Yo, this is what I'm talking about, man. See, yo, much respect to my man Moss out here, man, talking about LeBron James in the 2011 NBA Finals and a meltdown. And let's take it a step further here and talk about LeBron James in the post-game press conference after the finals, man. Right, let's talk about the way he told the people out there to go back to our boring lives, man. This has been LeBron James' MO, man. This is why I tell you guys, LeBron James has no class, no integrity. Wasn't it LeBron James in the 2011 Finals fake coughing and acting all silly, mocking Dirk Nowitzki? And what did Dirk Nowitzki do? He decided to turn the heat up on LeBron James. And where was LeBron James to guard Dirk Nowitzki and take over that series and be a true champion? Once again, it's not always necessarily about winning and losing. It's about how you lose. Kobe Bryant would have taken on the challenge to try to do something, to make an effort on what? The defensive end. Did LeBron James, because he was averaging 17 points a game or whatever he was averaging, did he decide to do something on the defensive end? Did he decide to be a dominant rebounder or any of those things? Did he decide to galvanize the teammates with his leadership? No. Instead, this man's arguing with Mario Chalmers on the sideline. He's doing all kinds of nonsense. This is LeBron James, man. He'll never be worthy to be mentioned in the conversation with those guys, man. The 2011 NBA Finals was really a last straw for a lot of people because, once again, LeBron James has always talked down to the common folk, the common people. Whereas Kobe Bryant, what did Kobe Bryant always say? I went out there and played because I never knew who was coming out there to watch me play. And you know where he got that from? He got that from the mentality of the mindset of Michael Jordan, man. Once again, playing through the planes, playing through the personal problems, playing through all that stuff, man, for love of the game for the people, man. LeBron James can't touch that.
All right, we got Kevin in here. Kevin, you got a minute to ask your question. Please say who you want to answer it.
Yes. Thanks for letting me join. Big fan of Scap Attack. Big fan of Sports and Fitness, and fan of the whole channel in general. In fact, I'm a fan of Mr. Moss too. I've heard him before on other channels. One thing I want to say is the best closer label that they gave him. I think that was a deliberate act to minimize what Kobe does. Anybody that watches Kobe knew that he would get you in quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and then up that level of play that was already higher than everybody else's in quarter 4 and overtime. And I just wanted to see what you guys thought about it. Thanks again.
Who do you want to answer that?
Scap, and also Sports and Fitness.
Okay, we'll just do Scap. But thank you for calling, Kevin.
Thank you.
Yeah, Kobe. I think first of all, thanks a lot. I appreciate you following me and the channel. I really do appreciate that. And I think Kobe does. I mean, I think he was the best closer. There's a poll, a GM poll every year. It started back in the early 2000s, and they vote on numerous things like 20, 25 different things. And Kobe was, the most clutch player like for 10 straight years or something outrageous. So I think that Kobe being a great closer and having that it factor in the final moments, definitely that holds up. But I think to his point, Kobe, he gets some unfair labels. One of them is shot chucker and, just cared about stats. Kobe read the game. He knew what was needed, when was needed at every level, first, second, third, fourth quarter, last 3 minutes, or the first 5 minutes of the first quarter and setting the tone. He just read the game and knew exactly what his level, needed to be, and whether he needed to get players involved more or whether he needed to be more aggressive. And Kobe was just a far more cerebral and intelligent player than he's given credit for. All we hear about is LeBron's IQ. Kobe's basketball IQ was 10 times higher than LeBron's.
All right.
Spoke like 6 languages, right? Something like that.
Yep.
We've got Funk Master. Welcome. Please ask your question and say who you want to answer it.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, Scap pretty much Scap. When you all say, or I think it needs to be defined that LeBron passed Kobe, but when you talk to the players or most people who play basketball, they don't say that, or at least it's competitive. Who's the better? But we need to define who are they that continue to say this. Who are they?
You want me to answer that?
Yes.
Well, first and foremost, I think there's 2 players that really stick out in my mind. One is Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq hated Kobe. When they played together, those two hated each other. They had a very, very messy divorce. And there was a lot of animosity there for several years. Now, in hindsight, it's Shaq comes to the defense now, like 10, 15 years later, and says, Kobe was the guy on those teams. Like Kobe, is disrespected in this current iteration of this debate, this GOAT debate. He's the one that he's not saying, Shaq's not coming out and saying, me. Shaquille O'Neal needs to be more in these conversations. He's saying Kobe Bryant is the guy that needs to be put up there with Jordan and is every bit as good, if not better than LeBron. And the reason why I give Shaq, special credibility on this topic is because Shaq played with LeBron when LeBron won a league MVP in Cleveland. So Shaq played with, prime Kobe Bryant going to championships, winning championships. He played with prime LeBron James winning league MVPs. Shaq knows, and Shaq picks Kobe over LeBron. Shaq puts Kobe right under Jordan at 2 all time. The other guy real quick that sticks out is Kevin Durant, the preeminent foil to LeBron James in that 2010 to 2010 range, taking out Steph Curry. But from an individual standpoint, KD and LeBron, KD played LeBron in 3 NBA finals. KD's got Kobe at 2 all time. And if you see Kevin Durant talk about it, he doesn't even put Kobe at 2. He says it's Jordan, Kobe, right up here. They're just 1A and 1B. So those are 2 pretty prominent examples of players that put Kobe above LeBron.
All right. We've got, thank you for calling Funk Master. We've got, sorry, I missed the name. Black Royalty in here. You got a minute to ask your question. Please say who you want to answer it. Oh, I guess not. All right. We've got Mac Def in here. You got a minute to ask your question and then who you want to answer it.
Salute panel. This is an all-star panel up here. I think Scap, you had a video about Kobe. They tried to say James Harden was a better scorer than Kobe. Is that right?
Well, I don't think I made a specific video about that, but yes, that's one of the narratives percolating around in this cesspool of the media that we have today. Yeah.
No problem. This is a question basically for everybody on the panel. Is LeBron James in your top 5?
One person answer it. Who do you want to answer it?
Okay, well,
Nope.
let's go with, because
Well,
I'm a 49ers fan, let's go with Hoop God, because this tells me everything I need to know about sports. Hoop God. Is LeBron James in your top 5?
Hell no.
Okay. Now,
Well,
why?
just answer why. Yeah.
LeBron is not in my top 5. I mean, there's numerous reasons, but no, a king cannot leave his kingdom and still want to be in that class. Because you look at the other guys, they didn't leave their kingdom. So no, I can go on, but I'm gonna keep it short because I know his other callers wait. Hell no, no flopping, no.
All right. Thank you for calling, Mac Def. We got Ace Sturdy in the background. You've got a minute to ask your question, sir, and who you want to answer it.
Hey, salute everybody. First of all, I want to give a quick shout out to Rex, a valuable panel, a former panelist. Unfortunately, he wasn't here on this stream, but that's a guy who, when I listen to this stream, listen to this channel, he actually knows basketball. But nevertheless, my only question and challenge to Mel is when you say LeBron needs 3-point shooting to be highly effective, right? Then a guy like myself who's a actual student of the game, I go back and I go to 2020 and I realize that Lakers team wasn't a good 3-point shooting team, and yet he led the league in assists by averaging nearly 25 points with a team that was bad 3-point shooting. But like, can you elaborate on how he needs 3-point shooting around him to be effective? And I got one more statement after that, just a statement.
Yeah, because his offense is predicated around a spread floor, having at least 3 shooters space the floor for him, and a screen setter to set his screen. A lot of times that screen setter is a 3-point shooter like Bosh or Kevin Love as well. But he, I mean, just like Harden in his offense in Houston, just like Westbrook in OKC, just like Luka in Dallas, that's the offense they run. Spread the floor. I need to get this my best player the ball in his hand, middle of the floor, high screen roll, and he needs to come down hill with a head full of steam, try to get to the hole, or use his secondary gift, which is his passing, to find the open shooter. That's their offense, and that's what he strives at. Without that 3-point shooting, he had to play more of a conventional or traditional style of basketball, which he doesn't. He don't have those skills and attributes to flourish like he wants to in those. Like, he's not gonna kill in the mid-range game. He's not going to kill in the post. He's not going to kill without the ball. So he can still be good and still be great, but he won't be that much effective. But yeah, for him to be able to do it and win in the bubble with with that team he still had some shooting around. He still had Caldwell Pope. He still had Avery Bradley for most of the season until the bubble started. He still had all that stuff, and he had a lot of advantages with size as well. Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis played lights out as well. So I mean, he had damn near a super team on that. So yeah, when you stack your squad, that also hides your deficiencies as well. But he mostly hides it by having that floor spread.
Hey, man down, let me add real quick to your question. No, man down is correct because AD went 50, 40, 90. Matter of fact, he went 57, 43, 91 in those 2020 finals. So what man down said is correct.
And that's not something that's not something that we made up. You listen to ESPN, and every single season they're talking about changing the roster to spread the floor for LeBron James. I mean, LeBron apologists are saying this. There's no argument to be made against the fact that they're doing everything they can to make the floor more wide open for LeBron James's opportunities.
All right, we've got Vish Takes in here. Welcome. You've got a minute to ask your question. Please say who you want to answer it.
Hey, how are y'all doing?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Hi, how you doing?
Doing
Yep.
good. Not bad, not bad. I guess I don't have a question, but I guess I just want to have a statement to say, and then either like Scap or AOH, and y'all could answer. I feel like LeBron and Shaq, they're both like some of the most overrated superstars in NBA history, and that they both are like similar in some ways. Like they both have a 4-ring count, right? With their last titles being in Florida, with LeBron's is a bubble ring, and Shaq's they're all Shaq fans' arguments is about the Finals MVPs and Finals MVPs. But when it comes down to Miami, not only did like Wade win the Finals MVP, but it was like an absolute landslide. Wade averaged almost 35 points in the NBA Finals in '06, to Shaq being the third leading scorer, averaging 13 points. Just like LeBron averaged, like, was the third leading scorer in the 2011 Finals, like being behind Wade, ironically, and Chris Bosh.
Fish sticks. What do you want? What do you want them to? What do you want them to comment on?
Just like what do y'all think about that?
Overrated.
Are they overrated?
Is he one of the
Yeah,
most
That's a slap
overrated?
in the face to Shaq.
Yeah, let's let AOH answer this because Scap's had a few of them already so far.
As someone who cheered against the Lakers during that time period, Shaq was horrifying. He was an unfair advantage. I mean, was he better than Kobe? I'm not arguing that, but my God, you don't bring your game plan against how to stop Shaq and you're completely effed, and then you're effed anyway. And I always thought that Shaq got some help from the refs. Some people will argue the opposite, that they got away with fouling him. I didn't really see it that way, but man, Shaq was agile and he looked like a dinosaur amongst humans out there. He had that side, and he's not like today's big men that want to pussyfoot around in the paint. He will crush your skull with the dunk after he gets through the double team. That guy was horrifying. I hated the fact that the Lakers had him. Now, Shaq obviously had some poor work ethic, and when he was dancing around the NBA at the end, he was not the same guy. But I've seen some highlights from his time in Miami. You have a guy that size, and people today have guys on their teams that they will justify just for being able to clog up the paint or be an intimidating presence. Even when Shaq was not himself, he still had that.
All right. What's
Hey,
that?
Dark, can I alert you to something real quick? It's a guy, Bob Lully in the chat. This he keeps spelling the N word out letter by letter in separate messages. I don't know if you can block him.
I tried to put him in YouTube timeout, but I don't know. I don't know if I have the right to do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna block him because that's I F that guy. Anyway, thank you for letting me know. I didn't see that.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I thought you were gonna comment on this. We've got Black Royalty here. Welcome. You got a minute to ask your question, and please, or not. All right. I've dropped the. It seems like some of these people got connection issues.
I saw Ticket TV trying to get in.
Yeah, I saw. Well, I saw that he was in here. I didn't see him say he was trying to get in here.
He said it was full.
Oh yeah.
What up, fellas?
You know, it's
What's up?
it's
Yo, what up?
Sorry, man. But we got Buki Allen here. Buki, you got a question.
No, I was just saying the times Kobe destroyed the Spurs over his career, LeBron has it. They exposed his weakness. You can't go under the screen on Kobe Bryant, man. It's a joke. They gave LeBron wide open jumpers. LeBron never beat the Spurs in his prime. He had to go to a super team to beat an old Tim Duncan. So
hey,
it is what it is. It is.
Okay,
Kobe clears LeBron.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Ticket.
sorry,
He's not on Larry Bird.
Yeah,
He's
let's
not
try
on Larry
to.
Bird level either.
Word.
That's all I want to say.
Yep. We're gonna try. Yeah. Thank you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
Sorry, are
interrupt
you in a tunnel?
I'm just saying for Ticket TV. If you're not Ticket TV, please let him on after this. So please, because he is a high profile person. Oh, here's another one. Oh God. Okay. Sorry. I see something else popping up here. They're blocked too.
The freaks are coming out, man. That's what happens when you set the record straight.
Hey, sports and fitness, you don't woke them up, man. Them zombies coming.
Yo, I'm saying, man, we making noise right now, man. They hear us.
Yeah, I see.
Yep.
I see.
They gonna take it right there, man.
They
Hey,
hit me up and told me y'all was cooking.
What's
hey,
that?
Ticket.
What's going on, man?
What's up?
What's up? How you doing, man?
Yo, Ticket, much respect, man.
Yeah.
Hey, look, if y'all didn't see Ticket call Bronny's game yesterday, man, y'all need to go listen to it, man. I was crying. I was on the highway driving home. I couldn't watch the game, so I'm listening to Ticket, and he's giving me the play-by-play. And he stopped it in the fourth quarter. He didn't even want to see no more, man. That jump was hilarious, man. But
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
good
Much,
stuff,
much
Ticket.
respect to all y'all, man, for telling the truth, man. You know, they trying to flood the media out with guys who are gonna lie and rewrite history, you know. And so when you got people that actually speaking the truth on these issues and actually, you know, grew up and you know, lived through the Kobe Bryant era, lived through the LeBron James era. A lot of you guys, some of you guys lived through the Michael Jordan era. You can't lie to us and tell us we seeing stuff that we didn't see with our own eyes. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can fool these young guys. So a lot of these guys y'all gonna get this arguing with you guys. They kids, man. They're 23, 24, 25. And then if they're over that age, then they pretty much are compromised, man. They bought and paid for it. They probably on the payroll. They saying the stuff they're saying.
I
Yeah,
agree.
I find it funny that some people will go and they'll just constantly be saying these things, and I just think a lot of their reasoning is just it's unfounded, and especially the older guys, like you're saying, like the kids. I get that because that's their guy because they watched him or whatever, but I don't. A lot of the older guys, I just don't understand how they found how he's greater than Mike or Kobe or a lot of people.
It's a lot more that go into the debate than just see. They want to just think, oh, longevity or this, that, and the third. It's a lot more that goes into that debate when you're talking about the GOAT, even when you're talking about Kobe and LeBron James. It's a lot of things that we grew up and we saw that we lived through that we understand because we lived through both Kobe and LeBron James. So it's things that we saw, adversities we saw Kobe Bryant overcome and go through that we saw LeBron James run from, hide from, duck from, stack the deck against. You understand? When Kobe Bryant, he's going to run through that brick wall. LeBron James is going to find a way to try to get a ladder to go over. He's going to try to find an easy route to get around that adversity. And see, a lot of these kids, they don't really respect that because they don't understand that. They've been taught and raised in a different era where the era we live in now is not about hard work no more. It's about handouts. What you see with Bronny James right now, a handout. That's why when he gets on the stage that he's on right now, he gets exposed the way he's getting exposed. And then these guys will turn around and call you haters. But we all got two eyes. We all understand what we're watching, what we're seeing. We understand that when LeBron James goes to the first NBA Finals and the way he played in the first NBA Finals, they lost that because of him, because of his play, because he didn't play just normal LeBron James basketball that he had played all throughout that season and all throughout the playoffs up until that point. But they make excuses, the same excuses they would never make for a guy like Kobe Bryant. But then they'll say, oh, you know, well, Kobe had Shaq. But these guys they fail to realize that Shaq had bomb squads before he played with Kobe Bryant. Shaq had Penny Hardaway in his prime. Shaq had Nick Anderson. He had shooters. He had all kinds of, he had Horace Grant. He had power forwards. He had a whole stacked team and couldn't get the deal done. He got destroyed in the NBA Finals by Hakeem and those guys. Then you look at it and you go to, okay, he goes to the Lakers. Well, Kobe Bryant was on the bench those early years. Guess what? The Lakers were still winning 60 games. Why he didn't win a championship with Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel and all those guys? Those guys were all-stars on the team that year. They was winning 60 games. So they never answered that question. He only won when Kobe Bryant ascended. You understand what I'm saying? And when Kobe Bryant came up, that's when he started winning championships. Shaq never won a championship off the strength of him being the man. He got a favorable matchup in the NBA Finals when you're playing against big men that are basically, you know, there's not even no competition for him in the Eastern Conference Finals those years. But Kobe Bryant was taking on all the he was slaying all the giants going through the Western Conference, going all the way up to the NBA Finals. And then you follow the game plan of what Phil Jackson said. Look, we're gonna go to the mismatch. Shaq has the mismatch easily in the NBA Finals. We going through him. So that's what you're supposed to do. If LeBron, and these guys don't understand this, if you had LeBron James, if he's playing with Shaq at that time, he's gonna have to do the same thing Kobe Bryant did. He's not gonna be able to play his game and tell Shaq, hey, go stand in the corner and go do this, go do that. You're not doing that to the most dominant big man, and one of the most dominant big men in the history of the NBA. You're not doing that. You're gonna throw the ball into Shaq and you're gonna play off him. But that's the thing, LeBron would have got exposed because he can't. He can only play a certain way. These young kids don't understand that. They come on, they call you guys haters, and you know they try to put all of these plants in the media to try to, you know, phase the voices out. But I'm happy to see all of you guys that are standing on business and standing on truth, man, and that is growing because at the end of the day, man, the things we're seeing now, even the degrading of the Lakers franchise we're seeing now. There's no way in the world Bronny James should be able to be on the Lakers franchise. Kobe Bryant would not stand for no foolishness like this. Kobe Bryant would not stand for any handouts. Kobe Bryant would make his work for it. If you earned it, that's something different. Same thing with Shaq. What did Shaq say with his son, Sharif O'Neal? Everybody says, oh, well, Bronny had a heart condition. Sharif O'Neal had a heart condition. He had open heart surgery. Did you think they cared? You think they gave his son a handout because that? No, they cut his ass, sent him home, sent him to the G League. That's how it's supposed to be when you really work for something. But see, like I said, the era that we're living in now, this era is a watered down, weak, soft era, and that's the problem I have. And I'm proud of you guys for cooking and standing on business. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna say this: I saw Gil came in here last week. We get on Gil a lot, all of us do. But salute to Gil because he one of the rare few ones that talk the crazy stuff that Gil talk. Because I actually like Gil because he will come down here and get in the YouTube streets with you. He don't act like he above nobody. He'll get in here and mix it up, even if it's an argument. A lot of those guys won't do. A lot of those guys in the media, they won't dare step to none of y'all guys like this. What they'll do is to try to insult you, say you don't know nothing about basketball, and then try to bring up fake bull jive stats in a weaker defensive era and an all-around weaker era period to try to justify the foolishness they say about LeBron James, man.
Can I just say real quick? Speaking of Gil, that man owes me sneakers. If he sees this,
let's see him go for a minute. We'll go around for a minute, and we'll have everyone talk for a minute if they want to respond to Ticket.
No, I just needed a minute to piss and moan about how I need my sneakers that Gilbert Arenas promised me last week. That's documented. That's proven. Secondly, it does appear to be a generational thing. But my thing is this: is everybody on this panel, as far as I can tell, has been alive to see all three players play at length. And if it's me, whose word would I rather take? Someone that's been there and experienced it, or someone who's seen the highlights of it, seen the bird's eye view of it? And the generation that we're in now is like, that's what people go off of, one or two highlights. And now all of a sudden, now you know the entire history versus myself. I think, like I said, everybody else in here, they've seen Jordan, they've seen Kobe, and they've seen LeBron, and they've seen all iterations of every kind of league that there's been. This is the weakest it's been, and I think we have the right to say that. Size 11.5, Gil.
Let's go down the line. AOH, you have anything to say what Ticket was saying?
No.
Nah, Ticket cooked the meat off the bone. Pause. But yeah, he said everything.
I don't need to fix what isn't broken.
You don't have anything to say, Mel?
I mean, other than I need Ticket on my panel next week, man. Ticket, I need to holler at you, big dog. But from what he was saying, I mean, it's true, man. Like it's a generation of people that don't know better, and it's a generation of people in mainstream media that's teaching them some bullshit, man. I mean, that's all it is, man. And they falling for it, and it's good that there's some opposition to that, and it has to be opposition. Just like sports and fitness say, you got to set the record straight. Every action is supposed to have an equal and opposite reaction, and that's all this is. If it wasn't a lot of capping coming from LeBron's cap in the mainstream, it wouldn't be a correlation of people that's trying to make sure that everybody get what the truth is, and at least get the other side of it, right? So that's all it is, man. We just reacting to the capping. That's all.
Hey, just hit me on my email, dog. Yeah, look, man, they fill up the media with these plants, bro. And what they want to do is they want to rewrite history and lie to you. So a lot of these people, they're afraid to speak the truth. Why? Because their jobs depend on it. They don't want to be the one that's left out of these meetings. They don't want to be the one that's kicked out of the gym and unable to get their stories and stuff done. Because LeBron and the media, they can do that to you. They can say, hey, man, I don't want that guy in here. Get him out of here. And the Lakers or whoever it is that's involved, they will kick you out. So instead, what these guys will do is, or these ladies will do is, they will play ball. You understand what I'm saying? Just to stay in the room. They know they're lying. They know they're capping. You understand? Mm-hmm. But LeBron James is smart. What happens is you buy up all the media. You control all the narrative that's being put out there about you. And guess what? Kobe Bryant didn't live in that type of era. Michael Jordan didn't live in that type of space. They were going to criticize. Michael Jordan had one guy that was really going to take up for him in the media. That was Mamba Mentality. Pretty much everybody else was calling it all the way down the line, however it was. Then you had Kobe Bryant. Who was standing up for Kobe Bryant in the media his entire career? He didn't have the media behind him. But LeBron James has had, where you can basically go to these networks, and 90% of these networks are all compromised for LeBron James. 90% of them. Look at ESPN. Look at all of the guys on ESPN. Every single show, you have a full program of guys who are dedicated and ladies who are dedicated to the LeBron James narrative, man. And this is the type of stuff you're fighting against. And it's hard to fight against it when he got that much money behind him, he's got that many people that's lying. And now these young kids are saying, hey, man, you guys are lying. You guys don't know what you're talking about. When you watched it, they didn't. But this way
Ticket, I'm not trying to interrupt you, but whoever has Elmero in their chat, I tried banning him on my side, but apparently it's still coming through. He's dropping slurs, so I don't know whose room he's in, but I tried banning him on the restream chat, but apparently it's still going through. So
and look, I want to say something to Scap. I went at Scap because I was upset at Scap about something he did. I thought Scap has a great channel, and I thought that I love the fact that he stood on business for Kobe because not a lot of guys do that. My only thing with you, Scap, was, man, you got to hold Jokic responsible on the defensive end too, bro. If he's not getting it done on the defensive end, because listen, these are the same standards that Mike, Kobe, and all the great ones are held to. So again, Jokic is a world champion. Nobody can take that away from him. Jokic is a multiple-time MVP. Nobody can ever take that away from him. But when his team or those guys come up short in the playoffs, we got to keep the same energy for him, because what these jockstrap sniffing LeBron James fans going to do is they're going to say, oh, you guys are picking and choosing. That's what they're going to say to us if we don't.
I don't know if you saw, I did a lengthy response video to all of the criticism I was getting from my feelings on Nikola Jokic. I can appreciate the criticism for him. I can appreciate the fact that he does need to be a better defender, but ultimately the supporting cast that Nikola Jokic has had it's absolutely absurd when you look at it. It's about a 20-minute video on my channel. I went back and I looked real quickly. I went back and I looked at every league MVP since 1984. So I looked at all, I believe it's 23 different guys that won a league MVP from 1984 to present. And then I looked at all of their first 9 seasons in the NBA, which is how many years Nikola Jokic just completed his 9th season. Jokic is the only player on the list that has never played a single season with any player that was first team All-NBA, second team All-NBA, or third team All-NBA. No player that ever made an All-NBA defensive team selection. No player that ever made an All-Star team. Nikola Jokic is the only one in the last 40 years that has won an MVP that hasn't played with a single one of those guys yet. And still, and if you look at the guy, I do a breakdown on this video. If you look at the guys that are even close, Jokic again with 0. Magic, I think, played with like 31 at this stage of his career through 9 years. If you look at the guys that are comparable to Nikola Jokic, like a Kevin Garnett, who only played with like 3 or 4 guys through his first nine seasons. KG was eliminated in the first round of the playoffs while he was defending at elite all-time levels. KG was eliminated from the postseason 8 of his first 9 seasons. Then he finally, in his 9th season, gets to the Western Conference Finals, is beaten by the Lakers, the Shaq and Kobe Lakers. No shame there. But then KG fell off a cliff in his last 3 years in Minnesota. Then he crawled his ass over to Boston and stole a super team championship with Ray Allen and Paul Pierce. Literally no one has come even remotely close to what Nikola Jokic has done in his first 9 seasons with the supporting cast that he's played with, other than my main man, Giannis Antetokounmpo, which is why I defend Giannis Antetokounmpo as well. And I believe a lot of people have said I've been inconsistent on Jokic, but I'm being consistent. I look at Jokic and Antetokounmpo in the same light. We should be celebrating these two dudes because they won 2 very difficult championships with putrid supporting casts in subpar, in small, minuscule markets. They don't complain. They don't cry. They don't throw their teammates under the bus. So look, if you're Nikola Jokic, you can't blow a 20-point lead at home in a game 7. I get it. But he did play every minute of that game and still scored, like, I think he had 15 points in the 4th quarter of that game. And his entire team cumulatively had like 6 other than him.
But let me respond to you on that. See, but here's why I disagree with you on that. And I'm gonna break this down real quick. When you look at a guy,
after you say that, if you could let Robin, if he has anything to say to you, say something to you.
All right. When we look at all the great guys and the true great ones in NBA history, we really can't make excuses for their cast. If you go back and watch Game 6, NBA Finals, Michael Jordan, he scored half the team points, Scap, and won the game, closed the deal when Scottie Pippen, his main sidekick, was nowhere to be found that game. Closed the deal. Can't have. So that right there, that excuse for Jokic, that eliminates that excuse. Secondly, we have to think about this. Jokic doesn't really have any competition in this era playing at his position. He didn't really have to go through all the killers like they did in the 90s, all those big men that was out there in the 90s. Jokic really pretty much has a cakewalk unless he's playing against Joel Embiid or 2 or 3 other centers in the league. So he really isn't playing any really great competition at his position. He is great. He is a world champion, and I do think he's one of the all-time greats. I'm just saying, and then when you look at his role players, his cast, we got to take this into equation. His main guy, the only reason why he's not an all-star, not all NBA, is because he's been hurt too many games. Jamal Murray hadn't played enough games to qualify for that type of stuff. So that's why he doesn't get voted. Listen, if Jamal Murray played enough games and they had came off the championship, he'd have made the all-star team. Jamal Murray, if he'd have played enough games, he'd have been about 2 or 3 time all-star by now, and he probably would have made an all-NBA team. These are facts, especially coming off that championship. Then you have Aaron Gordon, who's a high-end role player, who came off a team where he was the main guy that was a playoff team in the Eastern Conference before he went over there. Then you had another high-end role player who was a starter on a world championship team in KCP. He won the championship with the Lakers before he came over there. So he did have some very decent role players. And then you had a guy who probably would have been the number 1 overall pick if he didn't hurt his back before coming into the league, and Michael Porter Jr. Everybody knows about Michael Porter Jr., how much of a monster he was coming into the league. And then let me bite one last thing. And then when you said about Giannis, I agree with you about Giannis up until now, because he deserves the smoke too. He the same guy that went out, copped out, crying, asking about teammates and, oh, we need to do this, we need to do that. So what does he do? You go and you sign off on getting Drew Holiday traded. You go get a guy in Lame Dollar that don't play no defense, jacks up bad shots, doesn't know how to run an offense, and is a perennial loser. You lose the guy that helped you get over the hump. You thought you sent him over there to the West, but he gets traded back to the Boston Celtics, and it's a big reason they get over the hump and win a championship. Now you got egg all over your face again. And I'm a big Giannis Antetokounmpo fan too, but I believe he deserves smoke too because he's falling into that LeBron James type of narrative. So I do agree with you, Scap. I think that Jokic is great, bro. I don't think he's not great. I'm just saying, bro, when we talk about all-time true greatness, when we talk about the Kobe Bryant of the world, when you say that about his role players in cast, people will say we're hypocrites because they'll say, oh, when we say LeBron doesn't have a role or a great cast, you guys complain about that. But then you'll come up here and say that Jokic doesn't have a great cast. Salute to y'all, brothers, man.
Thanks. Robin, you got something to say about this?
Yo, man, I'm enjoying right now. My man Ticket, my man Scap doing their thing. They turn this into a full-blown debate right now. I'm loving every minute of the live stream, man. Once again, yo, I'm just like I said, thankful once again for Ticket for coming through, man. Because once again, he's an OG out here in the YouTube streets, man. He's been holding it down and representing for years, man. Like I said, man, an inspiration for a lot of people out there as far as standing up. And I wanted to touch really quick on what he talked about as far as it pertains to growing up and watching the game. I saw someone in the comments say something about remembering, you know, just because you watched it doesn't mean you remembered it. I want to explain something to the people who may not have grown up. I was born in 1980, all right, man? All disclosure out there. I'm 43 years old. I'll be 44 this year. When I remember, I've told people many times, I was fortunate. My father's a basketball fan. I remember growing up watching basketball at a very young age. The thing about remembering what you watched is because, or is about watching it, actually watching these things. When you think about children today or people today, quote unquote, watching a game, let's say, they're also looking at their cell phone, they're looking at the computer, they're looking at this, they're doing other things in the background. A lot of people don't really watch the game. And why did we really watch the game back in the day? Because most of us only had one TV in our homes. I know that's how it was for me. So what did you do? You watched whatever your parents were watching on TV. You weren't having cell phones and other things in the background disturbing you or distracting you from watching the game. You actually watched the game. So once again, if you watch my channel and you follow my channel, what you'll notice is I obviously remember a lot of the things that I watched when I was 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, into adulthood, man. Not everyone has that kind of recall. But once again, it also goes in hand with actually watching the games. That is a big deal, man. When we talk about watching these things, that's why it matters to a lot of people, and we want to allow them to rewrite the history.
All right, yeah. Let's try to keep it to a minute, and then we'll start shutting this thing down. But I know AOH and Mel said that they wanted to respond to what Ticket was saying. AOH, what did you want to say to what he was saying?
Well, the problem I have with what Ticket was saying, and to an extent, the problem that Scap responded with, is that you got lost talking about whether or not he had a good supporting cast. The bigger picture is that this is a discussion about something that never happened. Show me Jokic dodging the accountability. You know, some analyst said somewhere, oh, you need to judge Jokic the way you judge everyone else. Well, show me Jokic not taking responsibility. I mean, the poor guy's exhausted, and I can make a pity story for all the work he was having to do the entire game. But the bottom line is, why are we talking about Jokic ducking responsibility on the defensive end or not coming through? He never ducked it. I never saw him in one single press conference try to push it off onto somebody else. So here we are stuck like puppets following a narrative that was created for us to talk about something that didn't happen, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that I was impressed by Jokic's defense in the playoffs last year. He had a historic playoff run on his way to the championship. So I say I was real critical of him a couple of years ago about his defense, but I was impressed in the playoffs. And it does dip and come up every now and then. But Luka, on the other hand, has never even had a run like Jokic had where he actually plays with lockdown defense. So he deserves more criticism than Jokic. But I disagree a little bit with what you were saying, Scap, about his supporting cast. Just because they're not first teams and they made all-stars and all that stuff doesn't mean they're not on that level. Jamal Murray is on that level of the great point guards in the league, like Kyrie Irving, Steph, and all that stuff. Just because he don't make it. And this is sometimes a knock on the superstar. When your superstar does so much of the offensive load, which is what we glorify, the offensive stats, when you got one superstar who's the hub of the whole offense, he's the primary scorer and the primary facilitator. He gets all the assists, he gets all the points. It's hard for your team to shine. They end up doing the dirty work. Aaron Gordon is an all-star level player, but he'll probably never make all-star because all he does is slash to the basket, rebound, and play defense. Jamal Murray, he gets that 1B or that number 2 role where, when Jokic needs me, I need to perform. And Michael Porter Jr. is just sitting over there in the corner waiting for 3-point shots, catching shoots. He's not allowed to do anything. He can't make a play for himself. He can't assist. He just catch and shoot. But those guys are all-star level players that you can't see their full game because Jokic is doing everything on offense, just like Luka is doing everything on offense. Like Westbrook did everything on offense. We didn't even know how good SGA was beside Westbrook. We didn't know how good Paul George was. Carmelo Anthony was a catch and shoot player beside Westbrook. Harden reduces all his players. You can't have a primary scorer and primary facilitator. Those are all the stats on offense. There's nothing else.
I gotta respond. I gotta respond to this real quick. I've been hearing too much Jamal Murray stuff. I just have to jump in real quick. Jamal Murray's been in the NBA for 8 years. He's a career 17 point per game scorer, like 4.5 assists and 3.7 rebounds. In this 8-year span where scoring is ridiculous. Like in the last 8 years, we're looking at like 110 point per game averages league wide. Like this is the era where it is statistical inflation. And yet Jamal Murray's only a 17-4 per game player. Like if you want to say he hasn't been an all-star because of lack of availability and injuries, fine, let's wrap that in. In 3 of the last 4 playoff runs for Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray has either been unavailable, he didn't play in 2 of the last 4 at all, and then he was extremely physically compromised in this playoff run. Guys, he was sheer ass. He shot 39% for the playoffs this year. One season, 1 year out of 8 years in Jamal Murray's playoff lifetime has he played like a legitimate bona fide MVP, just regular all-star. And what happened in that one season? Nikola Jokic won the NBA championship. Like he just needs one viable all-star level contribution, and he's going to run the playoffs every year. He didn't get it this year.
Give me a name. Give me a name. Who does he need?
Hey guys, let's not let this devolve. There's a couple things I want to address.
Oh, please let Scap answer that question, Dart. Please. But just give me a name. Who does he need?
There's a plethora of better guards available right now.
One name, Scap. One name.
I mean, I would take Devin Booker over Jamal Murray and he's he's the second option on his team.
And Devin Booker's going to do exactly what Michael Porter Jr. is sitting in the corner waiting for a 3.
Okay, all right, guys.
Devin Booker will actually make more than 20%, which is what Jamal Murray did in the playoffs this year.
Let's take a break on this. AOH says he has to go. If it want to do a sign off, and then there's a couple of things I want to address, and then if Nick or Hoop God want to say anything about Ticket TV, and then we'll sign off here. AOH, you have anything to say to the people?
No, thanks for having me, guys. Another great panel. Got to run. Got to work on some other things.
Yo, be good, man.
Hey, Sturdy,
Absolutely.
thanks for that super chat.
So, A Sturdy has challenged Mel to $100 debate with an objective platform with objective judges. I mean, for me, the way I do it on my channel is the people vote. So if you want me to go and moderate that, if Mel is willing to do that, I will do that. Otherwise, I guess you can figure it out with Mel.
Nah, I'm good on that, Dart. I don't like the debate. I like the way me and Scap is having a conversation. We're not debating. We're having a conversation. So if you want to debate, then that's not my game.
All right, Nick, did you have any thoughts on what Ticket had to say that you wanted to share?
No, they were kind of getting in the weeds there about a topic I haven't dived into, so I don't really have much to add.
All right, Hoop God, did you have anything you wanted to say?
No, not necessarily. I mean, he's echoing everything that we said. I just needed to chop it up with him about some stuff over on Player's Choice about I guess a foe that we got in common. Not nothing malicious, but I just wanted to just put him on game and let him know that I've actually had dialogue with the same person.
Okay. But yeah, I guess if you guys want to talk about it briefly, what you guys were talking about, I just wanted to put that in there. Then we can do that. But I'm going to shut this down soon. Give it another 5 minutes.
Scap, my point on that is whoever you bring to Jokic, if they're running the same offense, is going to be ran through Jokic. He's going to get most of the assists, and he's going to get his fair share of shot as well. So it don't matter how good the player is, he's going to play a certain role in that offense, and sometimes that role doesn't. Like good players need opportunities and shots, and if you're only getting rim runs for Aaron Gordon, catch and shoots for Michael Porter Jr., and then whatever Jokic don't want, Jamal Murray gets. It makes it hard. But when you got a player like the way KD went to the Warriors and fit seamlessly because he played so well off the ball and Steph played so well off the ball, they could let Draymond Green actually kind of facilitate, and those guys could score off of that. Jokic and Westbrook and Harden and Luka and LeBron, they do so much on offense. It doesn't leave more. It doesn't leave a lot for your co-star and your role players. So you're gonna miss like Kyrie Irving. He didn't make All-Star this year. Why? Because Luka is getting all the credit for what he's doing because he's assisting
Kyrie's
and
number,
scoring.
and that's a good name. I would Kyrie Irving 1,000% over Jamal Murray in the Nuggets system. I would take that. Kyrie didn't make the All-Star again because he was hurt a lot of the year. He only played like 60 games or something like that.
Sure, but how would it be different if Kyrie was in Jamal Murray's position right now?
Look, Jamal Murray,
same offense.
Jamal Murray's engaged in a lot of pick and rolls. He has a lot of freedom to navigate, and he did so in the 2023 playoffs. And he made a lot of knockdown shots as well. Like ultimately, basketball sometimes is just a make or miss league. I think Jamal Murray was hurt this year, so I don't want to denigrate him too much because a lot of his struggles, I think, were due to his health and the fact that he had like basically every injury he could have on his one leg he had. But I mean, you bring up Michael Porter Jr. like. These guys are max guys. Like, I mean, look at how much money the Nuggets have devoted to Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. averaged like 11 points per game on 33% shooting in the 7-game series against Minnesota. Quite frankly, that's dreadful for a max caliber guy. I don't care what you're being asked to do. Like, if you're just supposed to stand there and make shots when they come to you, and by the way, they're wide open shots, make more than 30% of them if you're Michael Porter Jr. Like those guys.
But he's not Scap. He's not Cal Korver. He's got more wiggle and more creativity to his game to delegate him to catch and shoots. How he go get in rhythm when he's been able to get himself in rhythm by creating his own shot for himself and others. Like so I say this. There's only so many roles you can have on offense. Either you're going to facilitate as a point guard primarily, or you're going to be the scorer primarily, or you're going to be a person that's just setting screens or spacing the floor as a catch and shoot player. Jokic have both of the main roles on offense. Jokic he owns primary facilitator, primary scorer. Which one does Jamal Murray have primarily? Which role does he have primarily?
Real fast. So Scap, Ticket TV says he wants to set up a debate between you guys. I'll moderate it. Are you willing to
Sure.
debate Ticket
What's the
TV?
topic? Is it this topic? Sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Scap, can you drop your email in the chat too? I had a couple more things I want to dialogue with you about Kobe.
I need everybody's email. I need phone numbers and emails from all of y'all. Don't be scared. I share my phone number in the chat too.
I'll drop
Don't be
mine.
scared. Don't be scared to text.
Yeah, I guess we'll shut it down here. We'll set up the email between Scap Attack and Ticket TV. Ticket, I don't know if you have your email on your website. If not, if you could email me at either email Jay or you could email me at michaeljordanfans@gmail.com. Unless you can put it, if you're still in here, if you could put it in the chat, I'll go check that thing out that way. But yeah, for everyone though, Steam Engine, you have anything you want to say to the people before we get going?
No. As always, just we appreciate the conversation. Gets my Sunday going. Ends my Sunday basically.
What about you, Mel? You got anything to say to the people?
Nah, man, I appreciate everybody, man. Scap, hey man, it was good having that conversation with you, man. I'm glad we can disagree in a civil way. And everybody else, man, I appreciate y'all for having me on and all that stuff. Dart, thanks for the invite. Oh, sports and fitness. I need your number, big dog.
Yeah, I'm gonna get at you when we get off here.
Hey, I got your number. To that brother who sent me his number, I got your number. I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna send you a message after this over with.
All right, that was me, Ticket. That was Man Down Sports. That was me.
To the other brother that said something, I'm gonna hit you up. And the Scap again. I rock with your content, bro. I just disagree with you on the Jokic situation. Not saying that Jokic is not great, but I don't think that we can give guys excuses about role players. And I think that you undermine Jamal Murray a lot because, first of all, we do know he was dealing with a serious injury. Second of all, Jamal Murray is the one who closed the casket on the Los Angeles Lakers late in those games. Even though Jokic was balling, those games was right there in the balance for the Lakers. And Murray was the one who closed the casket on them not once, but twice in that series. And Murray has played at all world levels in the NBA Finals on that big stage where a lot of guys freeze up. Murray's game elevated to superstar status in the NBA Finals, and he has been major in playoffs for them. So I think that he should get more credit for the way he's played overall in their playoff runs. I mean, because I don't remember that you was criticizing Jokic those years where they played the Lakers in the bubble and it was Jamal Murray that was out there holding it down, or when Jamal Murray was out there cooking Donovan Mitchell in the playoffs and Jokic didn't really show up, and that was Murray that really was holding that series down. So I think it's like I do think that Jokic is the guy. You know what I'm saying? I just think that you can't undermine those other guys because I just think that and that's when we talk about Jordan, when we talk about Kobe, when we talk about LeBron, those are the things we preach against. We preach against guys saying, oh, LeBron didn't have nobody. He didn't have no role players. He didn't have no cast. Well, bro, I go to it again. True greatness shines like Michael Jordan did. Go back to Game 6, 19, what year it was? Sports and Fitness Rants, NBA Finals in Utah. Everybody stayed at home except for Mike. Mike said, okay, to hell with it. I'll go get it myself. On the road. We ain't going to Game 7. Because he knew what was going to happen in Game 7. That's true greatness. We've seen Kobe. Go ahead.
Ticket, I was going to say, how about we save it for the debate? You could leave your email in here, or you could leave your phone number, and then I could set it up between you and Jay, and I can host it. Have a unbiased chat.
Yeah. I love to have a dialogue with him. Like I said, man, I think
real quick, hey, Ticket. So I've been on your other channel too, man, since 2001. Shout out to James. His quote.
If you could put in the private chat, Ticket, on the bottom left. If you're on the computer. Okay.
Hey, but Ticket, I wanted to say, hey, we have a common foe on this basketball thing because I've debated town on occasions, right? And I thoroughly cooked him. So I've seen what you've been doing, dog. I wanted to salute you because I saw how they try to like pull this little gang up on you on Player's Choice. So we've been out here watching, bro. We've been repping, dog.
That's what happens when you cook these LeBron James jockstraps. And I told you, man, they roll deep out here, bro. But at the end of the day, you just got to stand on business. And like I said, I believe in a lot of the things that Scap talk about, especially when he talks about guys like Kobe, especially when he talks about the all-time greats of the past, the Larry Birds, all of these guys who came up, who actually went through the grind, who actually worked hard, who actually overcame adversity. These guys wasn't out here trying to stack the deck. They wasn't trying to team up. And Kobe Bryant ran away from Shaq to prove he was great. He tried to run away. LeBron James has ran to greatness to try to prove he's great. He's tried to run two all-time greats. He's tried to form super team after super team and still trying to form super teams because he still want. Think about this. You're 40 years old. People are saying you're still playing at this level. But why is he really still playing? Because he's trying to still catch guys like Kobe, guys like Mike. And the media never wanted to have a conversation about Kobe. You know why? Because they knew that wasn't a conversation that they legitimately can have. Because when you just look at the game for game, there is no comparison. When you look at Mike, they say, oh, what about these inflated stats? Bro, I got two eyes. I don't need to see no stats. All I need is to see what I'm seeing from my eyes when I watch Mike and when I watch LeBron James. And it's two different levels. And that boy LeBron James ain't on that level. He ain't on that level, and he ain't on that Kobe level. So I do respect what Scap stand for the most part of his channel. I was just getting at him about Jokic and now Giannis. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say we're trying to shut this down, Ticket, but listen real fast. Do you think that Michael Jordan fans are the best, and are you willing to say it?
Yeah, man. I mean, Jordan's the GOAT. It's not even listen, bro. This ain't even a question, man. Even LeBron James was begging for them to drop the Jordan documentary during the pandemic. LeBron James knows this, bro. That man, listen, he knows he's not the greatest. He knows that, but he has to say that. He has to say that, or else he'll look weak in front of his weaklings. So this is the reason why you see the media doing all the stuff they're doing, bro. Listen, they didn't have to do that. Listen, if Michael Jordan wanted to, he could have put pressure on the league and made them draft his son. You don't think he could? He's the owner in the league. He could have gave his son a job. He gave these guys no handouts. That's true greatness on all levels. Playing, after playing, he's better than him in every which way, shape, and form. He's better than him in the media world. He's better than him in the marketing and sports world. He's just better all the way across the board. The only thing Jordan doesn't do is try to go out here and buy the whole media and brainwash all these kids by buying the whole media and flushing this rhetoric down their throat every single day. That's all I'm saying, bro. How many coaches this guy had? Why wouldn't he was a free agent? Oh, well, he didn't have no Eastpo. He left Eastpo. He didn't have a Tyloo. He left Tyloo. He could have stayed. He was a free agent. He left. So all these lame excuses these guys put out, oh, he's never had a Popovich. He could have went and signed with San Antonio as a free agent. If he really wanted to win, he could have did what all those old great timers did, which is take pay cuts, man. It ain't no levels when you talk about Michael Jordan, when you talk about Kobe Bryant, and when you talk about LeBron James, man. My numbers in the private chat.
Thank you, sir. Can you just say the phrase Michael Jordan fans are the best?
Oh, yeah, Michael Jordan fans are the best. You already know that.
There we go. Thanks, Ticket, for calling. I can't wait to set up this debate. I think it'll be epic. But we're doing our sign-offs now. I appreciate you calling in.
Hey, I got one question for you, though. Where do you have Kobe rank?
Me, I did a new list. I had him number 5. But I really have a top 4. I have a strong top 4. It's unconventional. But
you got Jordan number 1.
Yep. You won't guess my top 4, I promise you. But I'll tell it. It's Bill Russell number 2. Then I've got everyone clowns me for this. I got George Mikan number 3.
Okay.
And then I got Magic Johnson number 4. But I define greatness different than most people. So
okay, no, it's cool. As long as you ain't got LeBron James up there, we cool.
Yeah.
Universal. That's universal, by the way.
But thanks for calling, Ticket. We're gonna do our send offs. But I appreciate you checking us out, and it's an honor for you to join the call.
Salute to y'all, brothers.
Absolutely.
All right.
Jay, you got anything to say to the people?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for thank you for having me on. Thanks everybody for being here, and I've got Kobe at number 2 in case anybody was curious.
Robin, what you got to say to the people?
Well, I got something to say to the people out there, man. Listen, I just want to say, man, this live stream, man, having people come out. I saw Johnny Arnett in the comment section, man. Wow, man. Once again, these are large people, man, with large YouTube following. Scap Attack, man. Angry Old Hoops, man. Uncommon Sense, my man Down Sports. You guys have followings, man. It's really crazy. Like I said, man, much respect to all the people that have supported the channel, people who donate money. You know what I'm saying? Once again, I've told you guys, it's never been about money for me on this channel, man, or doing any of this stuff. I'm just blown away, man, by all the support that's been going on. Like I said, I can't believe it. Like I said, I'm truly humbled, man, by the people that come through and support the live streams, man, and really agree or as I said, understanding what we're trying to do. Maybe we don't agree on everything all the time, but once again, we're trying to be genuine with with people here and give them the honest facts, man. Like I said, man, it's never really been about Michael Jordan being the greatest of all time or anything of like that of that nature, man. But once again, it's about setting the record straight, man. And like I said, speaking the facts. So like I said, man, I'm truly humble. Yo, shout out to my man Politicus Rex. I saw him in the chat, man. Rex is an old school basketball fan, man. He was one of the original live stream members, man, from when we had like nobody watching these live streams, man. And me and him would go back and forth all the time, man. And he's a true basketball fan. He's not an NBA fan, he'll tell you. He's a basketball fan. So shout out to my man Rex, man, a true fan of old school basketball, man. Shout out to those guys, man. Hey, look, you got Uncut Hoops coming through once again. See what I'm saying, man? People recognize him, man. Shout out to him, man.
Uncut Hoops, you don't have an email. I've been trying. I know you've been visiting the channel for a while. We're trying to get you on, but you don't have a public email. So maybe I'll drop I'll drop a video with my email in it if you want to reach out. Anyway, Nick, you got anything to say to the people?
No, man. No, I don't have anything. I enjoyed it as always. Always appreciate all the viewers and stuff. So it's just cool to see it grow.
Hoop guy, what do you got to say?
Hey, another great episode, man. Again, it's imperative that we destroy these narratives. And hey, like my man Sports and Fitness Rant said, hey, yo, we done made our mark, man. You see who's showing up in the chat. Like, hey, we can't be stopped. Cannot be stopped. And I got Kobe number 2 as well. And
speaking of all, first I want to go and I want to say thank everybody for coming. It was absolutely amazing. Oh, there's a Scap shirt.
Oh, man.
But I want to thank everyone in the chat. Thank you all for the super chats and your support in general. All the higher profile YouTubers that came on, thank you for coming and blessing us with your comments. Ticket TV for calling in as well. But one thing with the super chats, we'll find a way to find a real standard of how we're going to go and address them. I mean, if y'all couldn't tell, for one, we're blessed that it's a problem that you're sending so many super chats. But it was just so many, it would have just been reading super chats the whole time. So I made a decision to go with the show, but I appreciate all the super chats you did. We'll figure out a dollar limit or something where we will take the time to address it. But it's a great problem to have, and it shows your appreciation. I thank you, and I'll speak for everyone else that we thank you very much for your support. And with this number 2 talk, I was talking with Jay before, and I think this is a good idea for next week. If y'all want to do this, talk about who's the second greatest of all time, because everyone knows who number 1 is. Would you all be down to do that topic?
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Yes, sir.
All right. So tune in next week.
I got a lot of info that disproves Kareem being number 2 because I know that's revisionist history. So yeah, I'll hold it for that episode.
Absolutely. But yeah, thank you everyone for coming. We'll check you out next week. We'll get the Scap Attack versus Ticket TV debate going on. Check out the MJFP Summer Debate League as well. I know some of y'all are FYF fans. He's in it as well. Robin's got a debate later this afternoon at 8 p.m. Eastern, where he's going to be debating Kobe Bryant versus LeBron James. He'll be defending Kobe Bryant. If you want to check that out live on my channel, come do it. But anyway, without further ado, Michael Jordan fan.